Namaste, I'm going to India all alone. Not exactly. However, with almost no money, no film crew, no makeup or friends, except for the one I met. Just two of us getting lost in its capital, visiting the world's most famous and photographed landmarks, hiking high up to conquer the fortress, and heading deep under to experience its fascinating caves. We'll take a stroll into the heart of the largest open-air laundry in the world and experiencing its insanely beautiful coastlines and beach. Finally, flying right into the off-beaten paths to the paradise island in the middle of Bay of Bengal. Not to forget, learning about its history, experiencing its Hindu religious traditions and welcome ceremonies, getting fueled up with a large variety of cheap eats, and getting around the long, local way. All done safely, inexpensively, and easily. Anything anything we can do, you can do. DIY destinations, incredible India, and you are invited. We are so fortunate to live in a small world with so many cultures, so much beauty, and so much diversity. The world waits for no one, and it's up to each of us to discover its magnificent destinations. I want to make travel accessible to all of us by showing how it can be done safely and inexpensively. Known as the Republic of India, the 7th largest country by land and the largest democracy in the world with the second most populated population of 1.2 billion. Although the majority of our population associated with Hinduism, there is a large diverse minority of religions, cultures, and ethnicities. It's also a land of contrast, consisting of modern urban metropolis of Mumbai to the unspoiled nature of the elements while witnessing the different level of economic development. That's why we are here, to truly experience India, to feel its warm hospitality of its people, its food, to touch the long history, and most importantly, to witness its great civilization at its crossroad. Let's start this journey by myself. From Delhi's Gandhi International Airport, visa is required for most nationalities and a simple e-visa is available to most countries. That's the easy part. Nope, you don't need to be a crazy rich Asian, but you do need a little bit of Indian currency, the rupees, to kickstart your trip. The hard part is taking money from the ATM. There might be plenty of them in the airport, but all of them are frustratingly unreliable and difficult to use. All of them are pieces of useless crap. Even if you're lucky, you're subject to a $130 withdrawal limit with a $3 surcharge. Yikes. All my ATM card didn't work. It's crazy. And so I'm stranded without any money to take the metro to the New Delhi. Now, the plan B was I will use like a ride-sharing app or something like that to get down to my hotel, but the phone didn't work either. See, now, as a seasoned traveler, I do have plan number C, which is, to exchange money at the airport, which is horrible because the spread here is 15% plus a surcharge. Not cool, but that's the best option I got. With that being said, I do have the money for the metro. Let's get going and welcome to India. The best and the most inexpensive way to get to the city center is by the Airport Metro Express. The quick ride is 25 minutes and the fare costing only about 80 cents. After reaching the New Delhi station, you can take an auto rickshaw to your hotel. I learned all this from my new Indian friend Nishant. Also, remember to bargain even for a ride. I'd like to thank my new friend right here, which I met at the airport, Nishant, right? And who guided me the way, right? And that also shows amazing Indian hospitality.
Right. Welcome to India.
Not me, but he says so. Welcome to India as well. It wasn't long before I settled in my sponsor hotel, Golden Oasis Delhi. They offer luxury comfortable rooms at affordable price with complimentary breakfast and free Wi-Fi. The best of all is centrally located, only 5 minutes walk from the New Delhi railway station and less than a kilometers away from the Kangan Place and metro station. Worst ones. I don't want to be broke, so next day it's time to find an ATM, ones without the surcharge. Now, this is a good time to talk about the ATM scams. There's many shady banks out. When you withdraw money, they'll ask you, would you like to exchange using so-called dynamic exchange rate, meaning you'll see how much in your home currency when you take out the money. Wow, that is horrible. They give out horrible exchange rate, and I'm going to show you how much is the difference by withdrawing one with dynamic exchange rate and one without. With that being said, let's go to our ATM and check things out. Now we got our two withdrawals. Let's see how bad is the difference, and you'll be surprised. So with dynamic, the first withdrawal $212.24 plus a $2 in surcharge. Without it, at the second ATM it's $201.06 with $2 surcharge. So the difference between these two are $11. Is $11. With $11 you can buy a fantastic gourmet meal for 2 person. I also recommend you get a local SIM card for using the online maps. The typical unlimited nationwide calling with 10 GB of data for a month costs only $5 to $10. I really think I look cute in these passport photos. You'll need them for getting a new SIM card. With that being done, we know what's next. And this is where our journey of India begins. As you can see, it's quite a heck of a hectic start when it comes to traffic, but this is what the local experience is about. And with that being said, it's time to head to our first attraction. The first place we visit is Crowded Content Place. So this is a Content Place. It's one of the largest financial business centers here in New Delhi, and houses the headquarters of several noted Indian firms. By the way, things aren't always cheap just because India is a developing country. With an annual rent of $153 per square feet, it's the 9th most expensive office location in the world. It's also home to Jampath Road, one of the main roads in New Delhi, and its Jampath Market, one of the most famous markets for tourists. The market essentially is a long line of boutique stores selling products which are hard to find in the malls and multi-chain stores in the city. If you get lost in this buzzing market, you can grab a free map from the tourist office right here. Right nearby, about 15 minutes walk or 5 minutes by auto rickshaw, is a location of a mysterious site. And by the way, it's free admission. So cool. This is August in Bali, and as magnificent as this site is, there's no historical record to prove who have built it, but it is rumored that the legendary King Akasim built this monument. The site measures 60 meters long and 50 meters wide and was rebuilt in the 14th century by Agrawal community, which traces its origin to King Maharaja Agrasen. The location has been used to shoot scenes for many Bollywood films. Basically, I got a little bit lost and decided to take a tuk-tuk over to our next place. Remember to always bargain. Also located at the Content Place is a home to the most prominent Sikh house of worship in Delhi. So to come in here, as a respect, it's required that you take off your shoes and also to put on headwear, a scarf. Second step is you have to wash your hand and feet. So let's do that right now. Wow, it's known for its association with the 8th Sikh Guru, Guru Har Krishan, and is first built as a small shrine in 1783 on the bungalow belonging to the Raja Jai Singh, an Indian ruler in the 17th century.
Sikh means a disciple, a learner, a student, a person who learns throughout his life. And holy book, it has the teachings of our first 5 Guru, the 9th Guru, and even by some Hindu, Muslim saints, prophets, poets, and by some Sikhs also. So there are total 36 contributors whose teachings are there in the holy book.
The structure is instantly recognizable by its golden dome and a tall flagpole and a pool with water revered as having healing properties, and is taken by Sikhs throughout the world to take back home. Before, people used to come far away to listen to the teachings, and they used faith elsewhere to freshen up. To make it easier, a pond was built here so people can wash and freshen up and they want a clear mind to listen to the teachings. Another reason is to promote equality. Back then, there's caste systems, when the rich is not allowed to sit with the poor. By having a common water, it promotes equalness, where everyone bathe together. If you're hungry, I got you covered. There's a giant common kitchen prepares the meals for tens of thousands who visit the temple each day. This is a common kitchen, and as you can see, there's roughly about 15 to 20,000 meals being served here a day, regardless of the caste, the wealth, or even beggars who come here to have meals for free. And during the special festivals, it can be double that number. I ended my day with a sunset at one of Delhi's most iconic landmarks, the India Gate. Now, this is one of the most famous landmarks here in India. It's called the India Gate. It originally called All India War Memorial, and it commemorates 70,000 soldiers in the Indian Army. The memorial inscribed 13,300 names of soldiers and officers who have served and died in the British Indian Army in Europe, Middle East, East Africa, and elsewhere in Near and Far East, as well as the Third Anglo-Afghan War. Designed by Sir Edwin, the India Gate, even though it's a war memorial, invokes an architectural scale of triumphal arch, like the Arch of Constantine outside the Colosseum in Rome, and often compared to Arc de Triomphe in Paris, and the Gateway of India in Mumbai. Next morning, after a quick bite, it's another round of tuk-tuk ride. The Lohi Garden is a city park built in 1444 and the site of the tomb of the Muhammad Shah, third monarch of Sawai dynasty, and Sakar Lohi, the second ruler of the Lohi dynasty. The tomb was built by his son, Abram Lohi, in 1517, the last sultan of Delhi from Lohi dynasty. Now, this is one of the best free attractions here in Delhi. It's actually the tomb of the Sikhathar Lordi, the second ruler of the Lordi dynasty. Further into the garden are the remains of watercourse which connect to the Yanama River to the tomb of Sakar Lohi. In the middle of the garden is a big dome. It is not the tomb, but a gateway to attach three dome mosques, both built in 1494 during the reign of Sakar Lohi. As there is little architecture from these two periods remaining in India, Loti Garden is an important place of preservation. It is a good example of combination of Hindu and Islamic style of architecture. Lastly, it's time to experience New Delhi's metro. The affair is distance-based. If you are staying in Delhi longer than a few days, then getting a smart card won't be a bad idea. This is how we are going to get to the flower-like-shaped Lotus Temple near the busiest commercial hub of Nehru's Place. By the way, I wasn't allowed in since they discovered my drones. Completed in 1986 at the cost of $10 million, the Lotus Temple is the last of 7 major Baha temples built around the world, and one of the most prominent attractions in New Delhi. The structure is made out of pure white marble, and the Baha House of Worship is open to people from all religions. The Baha faith is a world religion whose purpose is to reunite all race and people in one universal cause and one common faith. Therefore, the lotus was chosen as a symbol common to Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Islam. In India, the main mode of long-distance and suburban transportation is by rail. The main operator is Indian Railways, which operate more than 13,000 passenger trains daily and has more than 7,349 stations across the country. Also, is one of the world's largest employers with a workforce of 1.4 million. It's really crazy, like people sleeping on the floor and never seen anything like it, so it's quite an experience to come here and witness it firsthand how people of developing country live, but you don't buy the ticket here. Yes, getting ticket is not straightforward or easy. The best way is getting e-tickets online through its official website by creating an account, or else good luck finding that official ticket office. You're simply not going to find it. This is how we are going to get to Jaipur. So I think this is our train, and welcome aboard. Let's see what's this about. So this is how the Indian train feels and look like. Oh, good timing though. I got that on camera. So the train's rolling right now. Depending on the train, the journey takes about 5.5 to 6 hours, and many other air-conditioned classes of trains offer something extra. So included in your price, also a bottle of mineral waters with a pack of juice, which is really nice. I hope this will give me some vitamin C and not get sick here in India. Your train ticket once again includes a little breakfast right here, and I believe that is hot tea and with a biscuit and creams. As we approach more stations, we pick up more and more passengers here. Next we can have lunch. So what they have here is vegetarian, I believe, and you get a piece of brown bread. Oh, sure. Aha! It is tea after all. After your meal service is, people come over, the servers will ask for tip. Now I wish I could give more because I don't really have that much like cash with me today, but try to be generous. They work really hard, and it's something that we can do for the local population here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jaipur. Well, almost. We're waiting for the train to stop actually, so it's gonna come pretty soon to a halt. Here we are, so finally we're at Jaipur, yes. Now, because the tuk-tuks are so inexpensive, probably cost about $1 to get to my hostel. Let's do that. We're gonna be hassled again. Just prepare for this, is what you can expect. We are bargaining again, and we're ready to go. Alright, let's go. Since you are guaranteed to be hustled, let's turn the table by bargain and bargain hard. Also, if you ask me what is the #1 enemy, this is it. So, traffic jams. Jaipur is the capital and the largest city of Indian state of Rajasthan in northern India. Founded in 1727 by Jai Singh II, the ruler of Amber, and whom the city is named. Jaipur is a popular tourist attraction in India and forms a part of the Western Golden Triangle tourist circuit along with Delhi and Agra. It's also home to 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Jantar Mantar and the Amber Fort. With so much to see, you need at least 2 full days. So after checking into my hotel, I wasted no time and took a dollar ride to Wonderland Mahal. So finally we are inside the Wonderland Mahal and it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I just want to let you know, it's 1,000 rupees for a composite ticket that gets you access to all the best sites here. And to get discounted ticket, there's 2 ways. First, you can work for National Geographics, but the easier way is to bring your student card. It brings the price down from 1,000 to 200, an 80% discount. What a bargain. Yes, the composite ticket will get you access to Amber Fort, Jantar Mantar, Amber Hall, and many other famous attractions. But we'll start with Wonderland Mahal. It's the tallest building in the world without a foundation. The 5-story building managed to maintain upright because of its curved shape. The best time to visit Wonderland Mahal is the early mornings. This is when the sun enters the room from the windows as the Mahal is illuminated with golden sunlight. The name Wonderland Mahal actually translates into the Palace of the Wind, and it's constructed in 1799, made out of pink and red sandstones. So what's so interesting about this palace is this right here. There's roughly about 953 windows overlooking the city. The original intent of the lattice design was to allow loyal ladies to observe everyday life and festivals celebrated in the street below without being seen, since they had to obey the strict rule of Pudan, which forbid them from appearing in public without a face covering. Another reason is the windows allow breeze to float through and help to keep the palace cool, thus makes it an ideal summer palace. Now this is my favorite part of the palace because this is where you get a nice panoramic view of the entire city. Just a few minutes away is home to Jantar, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a great place if you are a fan of ancient astronomy and the admission is included in your composite ticket. The Jantar is actually a collection of 19 astronomical architectures built in 1734 by the former ruler. And today, it's a UNESCO site. The Jantar literally means calculating instruments, and the site consists of a collection of 19 astronomical instruments built by Rajput King Sawai Jai Singh II. It features the world's largest stone sundial. The instrument allows observation of astronomical positions with the naked eye. Although it is not known when the construction began, there are several instruments that have been built by 1728, and the construction of instruments in Jaipur continued until 1738. During 1735, when the construction was at its peak, at least 23 astronomers were employed in Jaipur, and due to a changing political climate, Jaipur replaced Delhi as Jai Singh's main observatory. It remained his central observatory until his death in 1743. After learning about astronomy, it's time to visit the former residence of the royal family, conveniently located next door, but the admission is not included in the composite ticket. The city palace in Jaipur is actually home to the former ruler of Jaipur. This is his royal palace, but today it's turned into an open museum. The city palace is the seat of the head of Kachwa Rajput clan. The palace incorporates an impressive array of courtyard, gardens, and buildings. The palace was built between 1729 and 1732, initially by Sawai Jai Singh II, the ruler of Amber. He planned and built the outer walls, and later additions was made by successive rulers, continuing up to the 20th century. Right now I'm at the Amber Hall Museum, and in some places they will not allow you to use your standalone camera, such as right here. But I am allowed to use a small camera, and I'm very, very grateful that I'm fully equipped. The Ram Niwas Garden is one of the historical gardens located in the heart of the city and covered the area of 33 acres and was built by Maharaja Sawai Ram Singh in 1868. Within the garden is home to Albert Hall Museum, now known as Central Museum, named after King Albert Edward, who visited the city as a Prince of Wales, where the foundation stone was laid on February 6, 1876. In 1880, a museum of industrial art was proposed to display the product of local craftsmen. A small museum was created in 1881 in a temporary accommodation and was proven most popular. The Albert Hall was completed in 1887 by architect Samuel Swanson Jacob. The temporary museum and the exhibition, whose artifacts have been collected from several parts of India and its neighboring, were merged and shifted to their permanent home in the new museum. The building itself became the integral part of the display. Its Indo-Saracenic architecture and stone ornaments became a source of reference for various classical Indian style of design, from Mughal to Rajput. I ended my day by visiting another garden and palace. Okay, seriously, it's gonna be the last for Jaipur, I promise. The Sisazia Rani Garden and Palace consists of 10 multi-level gardens and fountains, watercourses, and painted pavilions. It's a sign of Hindu Rajput ruler Sawai Jai Singh's affection for his queen, a princess from Udaipur. This beautiful garden was presented to his cherished love to serve as a unique retreat place for her, away from the noisy court government issues. The garden offers a quiet, safe, and peaceful house for Sasodia Rani, as promised. So this is why I end my day. It's really serene and actually nice and calm here. I'm going to just relax and not care about filming that much. I just had enough. Right now I'm going to Jaipur Junction to pick up my ticket for tomorrow morning's early morning train tickets. So tomorrow we are going to go to Agra by train, and it's always a good idea here in India to book your tickets in advance. And here in Jaipur, I know this sounds strange, but you don't buy the ticket at the train station, you buy it right here, right across. But I'm about to get my tickets. It's really exciting, and finally I can start my day of going to all the amazing places that this city has to offer. Now I got this over with. Alright, I'm not going to start my breakfast without getting a sip of India's most popular hot tea. So, definitely I need a tall order of chai. It's a perfect blend of tea, herbs, and spices. The health benefit claims include improving digestion, enhanced immune system, fight inflammation, and antioxidant properties to keep you forever young. So what this is an Indian black tea, and you can actually have it plain or add some sugar to it, but I'm a simple person. So with that being said, cheers. After having the tea, I'm having the rice or green bean curry. I think that's what it is. It's about 60 rupees, so it's about like $1, you know, a little less than $1 or so. Even though the street food are inexpensive, I warn you to go easy on it if you have a sensitive stomach. Perhaps try out a little bit at a time for your body to get accustomed to it, as the level of hygiene are greatly lower than in your home country, most likely. After breakfast, once again, there is no time to waste. This time, I'm going to experience bicycle rickshaw. So, get the cyclist or the driver to drop you off at the SMS Hospital bus stop. The best way, also the most inexpensive and direct way to get to Singapore is by a bus which takes us directly there. So I'm standing outside the SMS Hospital right now. Hey, that might be our bus. So finally we're inside the bus. As you can see, I'm surrounded with new friends. By the way, did I mention the local experience includes being squished and being pushed around the bus? It's quite a lot of fun and a chance for you to meet some new friends. After all, the ride does take about 40 minutes. But just beware of pickpocketing. Haha! Congratulations for surviving the bus ride. Now let's get some exercise by hiking up the hill to Amber Fort. Oh no, there is no alternative to that. The good news, your composite ticket includes admission to this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Located high on the hill, the Amber Fort is a principal tourist attraction in Jaipur. Amber Fort is built using red as well as white stone marbles. The fort is built with a mix of Hindu-Muslim style which takes us back to the 17th century. With its large rampart and series of gates and cobble path, the fort overlooking Mata Lake which is the main source of water for Amber Palace. The history of Amber Fort began in the town of Amber which it resides on. It was once the capital and principally Jaipur state and was a resident of Rajput ruler. Maharaja Man Singh I, which led the Mongol Emperor Akbar army, commenced its construction in 1592 on the remains of an 11th century fort. You probably need like a whole half day to thoroughly explore this magnificent architecture. The successive ruler added to Amber Fort before moving the capital to Jaipur in 1727. The fort was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013 as part of a group of 6 hill forts in Rajasthan. Bedroom of the Kings. The palace is divided into 6 sections, each with its own entry gate and courtyard. The main entry is through the Sun Gate, which leads to the first main courtyard. This was a place where armies would hold victory parades with their war bounty on their return from battles, which is also witnessed by loyal families' women through the lattice windows. For those of you who don't want to pay for the expensive fort, it's lovely by the way, or doesn't have a composite ticket, well, there's another alternative, and it's just located right across where I'm standing, right here. It's almost like the Great Wall of China. It's really tough. It's actually pretty tall fortress that will give you a great view of the city. But sadly, we don't have the luxury of time, so I'm going to end here and go back now. We are on our way back right now, and we're going to visit one place along the way. One thing about here in India is you don't give the money to a driver on the bus, you give it to, yes, thank you. Thank you, and right there, 10 rupees. So this is Chantry Bar. It's actually on its way. Can you stop? Fucking idiot. Fuck you, asshole. Get the fuck out of here. So this is Chantry Bar. It's actually located right inside the Chicken Mound Lake. And you can visit here on its way to Amber Fort because it's on its way. The bus stops here. Or you can drop by while it's coming back. But that being said, I always hear people come and go from here. I think there's only one way, which is up above. Oh, sometimes you have to be mean to get the work done. Anyways, its name is translated into Water Palace for the lake around it. The palace was renovated and enlarged in the 18th century by Maharaja Jai Singh II to serve as a lounge for his duck hunting parties. The Mahal is a testament to the bond that was formed between the Rajput and Mughal Empire. The architecture of the palace resembles a both type of construction. The structure is built with red sandstone, and unlike other water palaces in India, the Jai Mahal in Jaipur is not built on an island. The 5-story structure has first 4 stories underwater. Only 1 floor is visible above the water level. It's quite mysterious that a palace was built with stones and the walls were built thick enough that no water seeped through any of its pores to this marvelous structure. Apart from lovely Jai Mahal that memorizing the traveler with its beauty, this region is also known for its migratory birds that can be spotted here. That is the last attraction before I headed off the train station next morning. As usual, it starts with a tuk-tuk ride for $1, after bargaining, of course. We are finally heading out to Agra, and this, they say, is the best train. And, it's moving a bit slow. Come a lot earlier because it's really chaotic here at Indian train stations. And with that being said, I hope we enjoy the ride. The breakfast is going to be served soon along with papers and stuff. Thank you very much. Excellent. The city of Agra is located on the banks of the Yamuna River, one of the main historic cities of India and a major tourist destination because of its Mongol-era buildings, the most notably the Taj Mahal and Agra Fort, both a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Agra was one of the most important cities under the Mughal period. The beautiful city Agra came into public interest when Sikar Lohi decided to transfer the capital from Delhi to Agra. It was the capital city for some of the greatest Mughal emperors. Agra also found its mention in the famous Hindu epic Mahabharata. So this is my favorite part. I'd like to thank my accommodation sponsor Hotel Taj Plaza for providing Sarah and I a very comfortable room during the filming of Agra. They offer both budget and luxury rooms, and with in-house restaurant and a business center, high-speed internet, and my favorite, the rooftop terrace. The best of all is only 5 minutes walk from the entrance of Taj Mahal. This is where my co-hosts join me, but before we go anywhere, we need to get one chore out of the way. The train tickets for our next destination tomorrow. I strongly recommend it. We are here at the Agra Fort train station. People doesn't even line up. Sometimes you do have to be an asshole, and we've been very much of it today because, well, people just going to run you over. With that being said, let's hope our ticket get issued soon. With that being done, the Agra Fort is around the corner. But before we start exploring this UNESCO World Heritage Site, let me give you one little advice when it comes to public toilets in India. Relieving ourselves here ain't free, so bring some change in case you are in a desperate situation. The Agra Fort is known for its rich history. The fort had been owned by many emperors and rulers in the past, undergoing many changes in its appearance. Built in the year 1573 under the reign of Akbar, one of the greatest Mughal emperors, it took more than 4,000 workers and 8 years of hardship to complete the fort. Knowing its significance of the location, Akbar built the fort to make it the main residence of the Mongols. The fort remains the main residence of emperors belonging to the Mongol dynasty until the year 1638. So this historical fort is located in the city of Agra right here, and is a loyal home to the empresses of the Mughal dynasty until 1638 when the capital shifted from Agra to Delhi. The fort, when viewed from above, has a semicircular shape. The base of the fort faces the bank of Yanama River. The Agra fort is enclosed by a double bedroom massive wall of red sandstone. The fort was the site of a battle during the Indian Rebellion of 1857, which caused the end of British East India Company's rule in India and led to the century of direct rule by Britain. Riding tuk-tuk is not only inexpensive but also saves time and energy. You also get to see the local way of life as it passes by many of the markets. You might also unexpectedly discover some really nice landmark from afar. That's how Sarah discovered the tomb of Ada Dada, and we know we have to go and see this mausoleum. Once again, I got some advice for you. First off, shortchanging. Always count your change that you get in return because we have been shortchanged so many times. Number two, now within the baby Taj, we have to wear these protectors from our shoes. They are included in your price. As a courtesy, perhaps you can give them 5 or so, but nothing more. Doing so will encourage bad behavior. Located on the eastern bank of Yanama River, the mausoleum is set in the large cruciform garden crisscrossed by watercourses and walkways. The mausoleum itself covers about 23 meters square. It was commissioned by Noor Jahan for her father, who was originally a Persian emir in exile, who had been given the title At-ad-Dawla, translated into the pillar of the state. Now this mausoleum actually predates Taj Mahal, completed in 1628. And it's referred to as Jewel Box or often as Baby Taj. And the reason for that is it's considered the draft to the Taj Mahal. The walls are made out from white marble from Rajasthan encrusted with a semi-precious stone decoration. The light penetrates to the interior through the delicate jelly screen of intricate carved white marbles. The interior decoration is considered by many to have inspired that of Taj Mahal, which was built by her stepson Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. The best time to visit Taj Mahal is in the early mornings during the sunrise. However, during the sunset, it is very spectacular from the opposite side of Yanama River in a large playing field called the Moonlight Garden. However, it is not free, but I got an awesome alternative. I am so smart. This city is charged for absolutely every possible thing they can from tourists, including a site down there with a really nice back view of Taj Mahal, and that's all it is for about $350 US. Honestly, there's lots of good places where you can get an equally nice view, just like right now, near the what's called stadium along the way there. And that way, you won't need to pay, and it's absolutely marvelous during the sunset. By the way, if anyone offers you a free tuk-tuk ride or at a ridiculously low fare, watch out. There's usually shopping involved. They'll drop you off at an overpriced tour shop before dropping you off at the final destination. Usually, these shops have high pressure, and often driver will disappear right after your shopping is done. So, don't waste your time and just pay for the full fare. They are pretty cheap anyways. As well, their Chinese food are also pretty cheap. Alright guys, it's like end of the day, I'm about to die, and the last driver took us to some souvenir shops and it took forever and I was about to die, but I was really happy. Just a few blocks away, we got a really great deal. We may not be able to find deals at the souvenir shop, we got great deals on chow mein here in India. It only costs $1.40. It's the best deal you can find. If you're wondering why there is no beef on the menu anywhere, well, here is your answer. So, here in India, cows very sacred. So when it actually cross the street, all the car has to stop. Another thing is when you eat McDonald's or Burger King and fast food joint, you're not going to find beef. So this guy is safe. We are exhausted and both of us voted unanimously to go back home so we can make love. Just joking, we are too tired for that. Let's save that after the Taj Mahal visit next morning. Sarah and I woken up around 5 in the morning to get ready for the big day. Our official guide is the Holy Cow, which provides us with a VIP escort to the entrance of Taj Mahal. I like to repeat, come early to see the spectacular sunrise. And since there is at least 50,000 visitors a day, it really helps for you to avoid the lineup for the tickets and avoid the crowd for that perfect Instagram shot. By the way, a bottle of water and a protective shoe cover is also included in your ticket. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a world-famous Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal, meaning the crown of the palace, the magnificent monument that stands at the heart of India, an ivy white marble mausoleum on the south bank of Yamuna River. This UNESCO World Heritage Site has been a story that has been melting the heart of millions of listeners since the time it has been visible. A story, although ended back in 1631, continues to live on in the form of Taj and is considered a living example of eternal love. So, let me tell you this story. It's a love story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal, the two people from the course of history who will set an example for the people living the present and the future to come. Shah Jahan, initially named the Prince Karan, was born in the year 1592. He was the son of the 4th Mongol Emperor of India and the grandson of Akbar the Great. In 1607, when scrolling down the Mina Bazaar, accompanied by a string of fountain couriers, Shah Jahan caught a glimpse of a girl hunting silk and glass beads. It was love at the first sight, and the girl was Mumtaz Mahal. At that time, he was 14 years old, and she, a Muslim Persian princess, was 15. After meeting her, Shah Jahan went back to his father and declared that he wanted to marry her. It was the year 1628 when Shah Jahan became the emperor and entrusted her with a loyal seal. He also bestowed her with the title of Mumtaz Mahal, meaning the jewel of the palace. Though he has other wives, Mumtaz Mahal was his favorite and accompanied him everywhere, even on military campaigns. In the year 1631, when she was giving birth to their 14th child, she died due to some complications. While Mumtaz was on her deathbed, Shah Jahan promised her that he will never remarry and will build the richest mausoleum over her grave. It is said that Shah Jahan was so heartbroken after her death that he ordered the court into mourning for the period of 2 years. Sometime after her death, Shah Jahan undertook the task of erecting the world's most beautiful monument in the memory of his beloved. It took 22 years and the labor of 22,000 artisans to construct the monument. When Shah Jahan died in 1666, his body was placed in a tomb next to the tomb of Mumtaz Mahal. This magnificent monument came to be known as Taj Mahal and now counts as among the 7th wonder of the world. This is the true story of Taj Mahal of India, which has been mesmerizing many people with its bewitchingly beauty. The Taj Mahal incorporates and expands on the design tradition of Persian and earlier Mongol architecture. The most spectacular feature is the marble dome that surmounts the tomb. The dome is nearly 35 meters high, which is closely measured to the length of the base, and is accentuated by the cylindrical drum it sits on, which is approximately 7 meters high. The minaret, which are each more than 40 meters tall, displays the designer's pleach for symmetry. They are designed as working minaret, a traditional element of a mosque, used by Muslims to call the Islamic faithful to prayer. Each minaret is effectively divided into 3 equal parts by 2 working balconies that ring the tower. Within the Taj include a mosque located at the west facing towards Mecca. It is a red sandstone construction inlaid with white rectangular marble. Each corner of the rectangle is equipped with an octagonal turret, ending with a chattery. On the roof of the 3 domes, 1 in the center and 2 on the right and the left. The wall of the mosque is richly decorated with marble inlay. The motifs are mainly funnel and plants and sometimes a simple geometric patterns. The mosque is still in use today, and Taj Mahal is closed on Fridays for Muslim prayer. I like to take this opportunity to remind all of us to be responsible travelers by respecting the rules, including the use of protective shoe covers and not litter. We returned to Agra for train station for our next stop in India. Sarah is having a mood swing and needed some alone time. Unexpectedly, I got more company than I bargained for. Those monkeys are following me right now. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But they are just following me for the last like 15 minutes. They won't leave me alone. This is what they are doing right now. Just sitting there, staring at me, like watching me every single action. But eventually, I safely made it to a platform. Phew. I don't know what that means, but we are on the second class. And it looks scary. The trains look really, really scary.
What's the number?
This is what they call the second class train, and it's really interesting. Take a look. This is the top bunker, and there's also bottom bunker as well. So if you're lucky, you get the bottom bunker. My partner's over there, by the way. Sarah's over there. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? The reason I'm booking this train is not because I'm cheap. It only costs about $3. But all the classes are all booked. It's fully full tonight, tomorrow, and the following day. So if you can travel by train in India, please, guys, book it at least 2 days in advance, and you can book your ticket in any train station to any train station. Actually, we got the sleepers class ticket. That's all is left. This is the class where most of the India's general class travels. Oh man, it's not pretty. There is no air conditioning, only a fan on the carriage ceiling providing some cooling. So, remember the saying, beggars cannot be choosers. If you want something more luxurious, book your train ticket online as soon as possible. Train tickets are often sold out months in advance.
I just got woken up by this, anyways. It's cold. And I don't think I can recommend this class of service. There's always, you smell urine coming in. And I don't know, it's just, and then just people like listen to music at this hour, and the rest of it is like, oh gosh. Okay, so not to be like, it's not funny at all. So now this is pretty lucky that my colleagues sleeping on. I'll show you what I have to deal with. So this is actually my bed, and my luggage is here. Oh shit. And I can't even sleep at all. So with that being said, pay a few dollars more and get something a lot better than this. With that being said, wish me luck that I survived through this train. Yeah.
We finally arrived at the Salim Aleppo train station, and as usual, we needed to head to our hotel. Alright, welcome to Sawai Aleppo. This is Village Heart. And I'd like to thank my sponsor, Accommodation Hotel the Village Heart, for the filming of Ranthambore National Park. This is a small family-run hotel with extremely comfortable and clean air-conditioned rooms with hot shower, satellite television with international channels. This hotel has a beautiful rooftop terrace where breakfast is served, and they offer delicious and healthy home-cooked vegetarian meals in the in-house restaurant. But my favorite, it's amazing family who run this hotel along with their helpful staff.
We can provide 24 hours breakfast, lunch and dinner also here in a unique price.
Salim Aleppo is a city located in southeastern Rajasthan with a population of 125,000. The economy is largely based on agriculture and hospitality. So I'm on top of the tallest point here in the Sawai Aleppo. There's really not much to do in this rural village. This is the rural India, the real India, without the modern amenities. And as you can see, people live here for generations, and it's actually really good to see a fresh breath of air. With that being said, there's lots of fans around me, and most of them are kids, and I'm gonna get going to see what else they have to offer. The city is also a gateway to the Ranthambore National Park, and this is where we are going next. This afternoon, our journey starts with a jeep ride from the hotel, and please say hi to our driver. So we're on a canter going to Ranthambore National Park. Now this park used to be a loyal hunting ground. It consists of tigers, leopards, and crocodiles. Within the park there's also Ranthambore Fort, a very historical site. So we are approaching the gate of the national park right now. There's two options to visit the park, only two. First is canter, is the most inexpensive way, and it's 18 seats, which is what we are on. And the second way is actually the gypsies, which is 6 people on board, and which costs roughly about 1,000 more. The Ranthambore National Park are open between October to the end of June. I recommend you spend a little bit more and buy your safari tickets in advance through your accommodation. The official website is absolutely impossible to use. The park has 10 zones and offer morning and afternoon tours. The hotel pickup and drop-off is included. Established as Salim Aleppo Game Sanctuary in 1955 by the government of India, Ranthambore is the 14th largest national park in northern India. The park covers 392 square kilometers and was declared one of the Project Tiger Reserve in 1973. Ranthambore becomes a national park in 1980. The most animals are seen during the hot month of March through June, when they come out in search of water. Ranthambore Wildlife Sanctuary is known for its Bengal tigers and is a popular place in India to see these animals in their natural jungle habitat. Other animals include Indian leopards, wild boars, sandbars, striped hyenas, sloth bears, southern plain grey lingard, mugger crocodiles, and cheetahs. We are just waiting for a tiger to show up. The best thing is to basically be really quiet, and that way, they're more likely to come around. I guess we didn't get the best of luck on our first day, but we will not give up. We end up doing the morning tour on day 2. So, we didn't get to see tigers yesterday, but today, I think we might have our luck. Oh, we will. So, fingers crossed. This is the morning tour. It's a pretty bumpy ride, people. Tightening your seatbelt. Okay, sorry, there's no seatbelt. Before the end of Imperial era in Rajasthan, the Ranthambore Fort was an exclusive hunting ground for the loyal member of Jaipur Kingdom. The fort was owned by the Maharaja of Jaipur and managed by their hunting department. The local residents of the village around the fort was allowed to take forest produce after paying a little yearly tax to the kingdom's treasury department. Even being a hunting place for Jaipur loyals, there was no significant damage could be possible to such large forest and its rich wildlife species due to occasional hunting practice. However, due to severe exploitation of the forest area, the forest conservation policies were badly needed in the country by the mid-20th century. Though in 1953, the Rajasthan Forest Act came into force and provides some legal protection to the forest in the state. In 1955, the entire forest covering the Ranthambore was declared as Sawai Aleppo Sanctuary, and though any kind of commercial activity in the forest was completely prohibited. Finally, our patience paid off with a little sneak peek of the tigers. It is not close up, but at least we got to see something. So this section featuring Ranthambore National Park is brought to you by the wildlife destination in India, which made it possible. Tell me about your company and the service you offer.
We cover all the national parks like Corbett, Kana, Bandhavgarh, Dudhwa and Tadoba. and we provide all kind of safaris like Corbett, elephant safaris and jeep safaris. We have all the hotels like luxury to budget hotels.
And if you want to have a great time here in India, this is where you should contact wildlife destinations in India. Thank you so much, Abbas.
My pleasure, sir.
Hours here and 1 hour for baking the foods because our foods is very fresh.
And once again, big thanks to our in-house restaurant at the Village Heart. We are very well fed. Their food are simply delicious. But sadly, we had to make it quick since we need to catch our train to Indore. This time, a little more luxurious class. And cleaner too, I promise. At least no smell urine. So over here is actually, this time we have the very expensive bus ticket, 22 and 21. So both of them is my seat. I think in this case I can lie down. With that being said, let's have a rest. So this is a third class sleepers class with air conditioning, and I'm going to show you guys around. First of all, you do get fresh linens and also a towel. I don't know where my towel is right now. Whew. That is a little relief for this 9 to 11 hour journey. However, even though the air conditioning is included, the food is not. So bring your own food on board unless you want to do some short diet. It doesn't work. When it comes to the bottled water, another scam. Yikes. So I want to give everyone a warning here when you're traveling India about bottled waters. When you get a brand new bottled water, the top should be sealed with a plastic, and also you have to look on the bottom. Sarah was actually looking into the bottle I bought, and unfortunately I already drank a big chunk of it. You see, this is actually not a fresh sealy bottle. On the bottom, what they do is they will burn it with fill it up, burn it with a lighter, and resell it. So I want to be one of the first to get out of the train because we are sick and tired of being trampled on and the chaos. With that being said, let's hope the train stops soon and we can be on our way. Fingers crossed.
Welcome to Indore, the cleanest city of India.
Once again, I'd like to thank my accommodation sponsor Stayton Apartment for providing us with a complimentary luxury apartment for the filming of Indore. You'll definitely feel like home away from home here with a fully equipped kitchen, comfortable living rooms, and bedrooms with housekeeping every single day. My favorite? The beautiful rooftop for you to enjoy the cleanest air in all of India. Thanks guys. Oh wait, the owner of this accommodation is amazing. They even invite us into their homes for amazing breakfast. Once again, thank you so much, my friend. Oh yeah, the best way to get around is once again Tuk-Tuk. The city is a commercial capital and the largest city of Madhya Pradesh state, and due to its location on the southern edge of the Malwa Plateau, Indore makes an excellent tourist destination. Later in the day, there will be cool breeze which make the evening quite pleasant. With that introduction out of the way, let's check out as many places as we can since we only have one day here. Another option for transportation is hiring a car with a full-day driver. We did it through our sponsor and cost approximately about $30 for a 12-hour period. The first place we check out is a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Ganpati. Let's get going. Oh, there is one rule. So to go into the temple, you will have to go in bare feet. So, are you guys ready? The Kajrana Ganesh temple is one of the most famous Hindu temples in India. The legend has it that idol was found in a well and was removed in 1735. A temple was established in the same year by Rani Akabe Hawker, the queen of Malawana kingdom. Found the well, which is right in front of the temple. As per local belief, all wishes of the devotee are fulfilled once they worship in this temple. So I just got blessed here in Kajrana Ganesh Temple. This is a pilgrimage center here in Indore. It was built in 1735 to honor the Lord Ganpati. The temple has developed a lot over the years. It has developed from a small hut to a huge temple and the most revered shrine in the city. There's regular donation of gold, diamonds, and other precious jewels at the temple. I just got blessed by a priest, a Hindu priest, and it is expected you give an offering. So make sure you bring some small bills.
See, that's why you wear slip-ons, not socks and shoes.
On the way to the parking, you'll see many stalls, and don't be surprised if you're offered a treat.
Very, very nice.
So this was just given to us by one of the street vendors who sells flowers and other items for offering at the temple. I'm not sure what it is. I've already had one bite. It's sweet, it's delicious, and I love my sweets, so I'm gonna eat it all.
It's actually Boondi Ladoo, a popular South Indian delicacy mainly used as the offering to the god in almost all the famous temples. This delicious round deep-fried ball is made from grain flour waters, then soaked in fragrant sugar syrup. Well, I'm surrounded by amazing hospitality, and this is chai tea. It's really good. Thank you very much. And great way to end my visit right here. Main market. Just like most of the women, Sarah loves shopping, and that is where we are heading to next. It's market at the commercial center. Along the way, we'll pass by a city garden facing Rajwana. It's a historical palace by Hocker of the Maratha Empire about 2 centuries ago. This 7-story structure is a fine example of royal grandeur and architectural skills. So just steps away from the garden, it's surrounded by local markets. And this is how you see the real Indore right here.
Stop walking in front of me.
Oh yeah, you can find absolutely everything here. From food, including really fresh fruits, lots of them, to personal care products, to some golden bling bling, and of course, what every women are obsessed over, fashion. Indian style, please. And when you get tired, just a few minutes away, there is a place for you to take a nap. Seriously. Now this is a really nice free attraction where you can come and appreciate and celebrate the historical architecture of Indore. It's actually a cenotype from the late 1800s, filled with carvings and statues commemorating the former Hakka ruler. The Chantry Bar is known for its permanent canopies. These canopies are built in the memory of the royal family of Hakka dynasty. Each chantry is built on the burial site of Hakka king or the queen. Also nearby is another temple. There's a lot of them, but this one is unique. Its nickname is the Temple of Glass. The interior is entirely covered with glass panels and mosaic, including the floor, column, walls, and the ceilings. Built by Sir Sir Compton John, a prominent trader and one of India's industrial pioneers. The work on the temple was done by craftsmen from Jaipur and some even from Iran. By now, both of us are desperately in need of a break from the temples. Our solution? Visit the Buckingham Palace. The replica of the gate of the Buckingham Palace on the grand entrance of the Ellora Palace. Now the garden of the palace is actually free, and it's really spectacular with lots of trees and flowers, and great place to take photos, and you can relax here all day. But the palace is pretty fascinating, and it costs for foreigners $500. And photography is not allowed. Actually, a correction, it's $500 for both of us. It's one of the most spectacular buildings in Indore and one of the most finest architectural evidence left by the great Hakka dynasty. Built between the late 19th and early 20th century, the construction was carried out in 3 phases, and the final phase was complete in 1921. Owing to its unique style of construction, it was one of the most stylish residences in India.
20 coffee a day.
Next, we are going to visit another temple recommended for the sunset. I'll keep it brief before you start feeling the temple fatigue. In fact, I can't tell you anything at all. I just can't find any information online anywhere about this temple. Let's move on to the next temple, just a few minutes away. Sadly, I did find some information about this temple, but thank goodness, just a little. I'll be brief and quick. The Ramnath Garden Temple, oh gosh, talk about excuse me guys, the Boondi Temple is another famous shrine in Indore. That's just about it. Once again, that's everything I can find. I'm being serious. With that being said, it's time to head back to pack up for the overnight bus ride to Aurangabad. So the setting is like 1 and 2. So if you're single, go to the other side. But tonight all the singles are taken, so I'm stuck with her right here. Like, so unfortunate. So unfortunate. But what's called, at least we do have a nice view from the upper deck. And so advice to you guys is, if you're going to take this bus, please make sure you don't bring too much. Okay, let me finish the sentence. Don't bring too much luggage, and ride takes about 10 hours. Also guys, just remember, there's only one pit stop, so don't drink too much, or else you'll certainly and painfully regret it later. I'm definitely not. With that being said, welcome to Aurangabad. Okay, let me try this again. Aurangabad. Before you have hotel information fatigue, I really need to get this out of the way. Once again, in fact, I love to thank our accommodation sponsor, Hotel Panchavi, for providing us with air-conditioned rooms. They offer very, very nice suites at a comfortable price with walking distance to both bus terminal and train station. Oh, they also have an in-house restaurant. Done. Let's get going. If you're asking where, I'm tired of telling you that too. Just bring some water and some sunscreen and come along. Right now we're at the Central Bus Stand, and this is the bus that you'll be getting on. It's 110 kilometers away, so the ride is going to be just relax. Do your best, relax. This is the local bus. The ride takes about 2 hours, and I promise you there will be a lot of beautiful sceneries along the way, and enough time for you to make a call to someone that offers 100% guaranteed solution to evil spirit, house problems, get rid of ex-wives and enemies, just to name few. Plus, you can support the local economy by tuning into the real-life onboard shopping channel, offering drinks and snacks at every stop. And before you know it, welcome to the Ajanta Cave. Not yet. So the bus driver will drop you off right at the entrance here. It's still about 4 kilometers away. Ignore everyone who asks for entrance fees before getting to a ticket counter. They are just scam artists trying to take advantage of foreigners. Just keep walking. You'll also pass by lots of souvenir shops along the way to the shuttle stop. This is actually a good time for you to eat in order to avoid the tourist price food within the cave complex. The total ride only lasts a few minutes and costing about 60 cents. Before you know it, you need to pay again. This time, $9. Let me guess, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. With that being said, I can finally welcome you to the Ajanta Cave. Maybe not. It's a little hike up. It also get really hot. Did I mention you should bring water and sun lotion? The Ajanta Cave includes paintings and rock-cut sculptures described as the finest surviving example of ancient Indian art, particularly expressive paintings that present emotions through gesture, poses, and forms. Well, this complex consists of 29 rock-cut Buddha's cave built between 2000 BC to 480 AD. The Ajanta Caves constitute an ancient monastery and a worship hall of different Buddhist traditions carved into a 250-foot wall rock. According to UNESCO, these are masterpieces of Buddhist religious art that have influenced Indian art that followed. The cave was built in 2 phases. The first phase is around 2nd century BC. The second phase was built around 400 to 600 CE. According to the older account, or in brief period of 460 to 480 CE. Now I have to say, this is a really big place, and you will need sunscreen to explore all the places here. I've been walking all morning, and this is only cave number 17, and there's 12 more to go, and I'm very determined to explore all of them after I pay for them. The caves are mentioned in the memoirs of several medieval Chinese Buddhist travelers to India, and the painting in the Ajanta caves predominantly narrate the Jataka tales. These are Buddhist legends that describe the previous birth of the Buddha. The paintings are in dry fresco, painted on top of dry plaster surface rather than into wet plasters. So, we are almost there. This is number 24, as I said on the sign, and this is the second largest excavation here in the complex. The cave number 24 is unfinished, but second largest monastery hall within the complex. This cave had been important to scholarly studies of the site because it showed how multiple crew of workers completed their objective in parallel. The cell constructions begin as soon as the aisle being excavated, while the main hall are under construction. This indicates how artists excel and continuously improve their sophistication as they work with the rock inside the cave. Once you conquer caves, if you still have the energy, hike all the way up here and continue on there. And you get to see the magnificent caves from up above.
Okay. So I'm standing here with my new friend just outside the Ajanta Caves. We spent the day checking out all 26 caves and then had the energy to climb to this very top viewpoint. About 30 degrees here, so it's nice and warm. I'm loving it, but I wish this waterfall was full of water and we were able to jump in and have a little swim.
We went back the same way by bus. By the time we got back, it was already dark. I was about to call it a night. But no, hell no. With so much food to sample, I'm going to eat. I'm going to have something really similar. The Indian Chinese food, please. Now, in recent years, Chinese food got really popular on the street stands. And tonight, I'm going to eat chow mein, which is made by lovely Indians here, and without being said, let's test this out and see how I live up to the chow mein I eat at home. I think it's actually very different. It's pretty close. Except for they use cabbages here, and also spaghettis, but I like it. It's pretty good. If you're worried about getting out of shape, don't worry. You can always dance it out. There's always Indian wedding going on somewhere. They are pretty crazy and go on for days and days. They are absolutely a traffic nightmare. But thank goodness everyone's very forgiving. If you're not comfortable with the local buses or tuk-tuk, there's also Ola. It's an Indian-based ride-sharing program that provides upfront pricing for your fare and also less expensive than traditional tuk-tuk and taxi. This is what we use for the following morning to get to the Bibi Mawakar, or the Tomb of the Lady. It was built by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's son Aziz Shah in the memory of his mother. An inscription found inside the main entrance mentioned that this mausoleum was designed and erected by Ata Yuha, the son of the principal designer of Taj Mahal, and Hanswat Rai, an engineer respectively. This is a Bibi Mawakar and is built by the former ruler. Now he's not into great architectures or anything like that, but he did build this tomb dedicated to his mother. If you look carefully, it actually have a striking resemblance to Taj Mahal in Agra. That's why many call it the poor man's Taj Mahal, because the entry fee here is only 1/5 of the cost of Taj Mahal. It was built with the intention of overtaking the fame of Taj Mahal, but it couldn't. As a result, this important site was not properly maintained. To be honest, I'm a little heartbroken to see it in its poor condition. Right nearby is one of the smaller complex of caves, an off-beaten-path attraction that have overshadowed by the UNESCO World Heritage Site monument of Ellora and Ajanta Cave temples. So this is Aurangabad Buddhist Cave, located about 2 kilometers away from Bibi Mawakar. Now this cave is believed to be built between 6th to 7th century. It consists of 12 caves split into 3 groups, with many of the caves unfinished. The Aurangabad Cave, or the Aurangabad Buddhist Cave, is a 12 rock-cut Buddhist shrine located on a hill running roughly east to west. The cave was dug out of comparatively soft basalt rock during the 6th and the 7th century, and notably for its Hinayana-style stupa, Mahayana artwork, and Vajrayana goddess. These caves are among those that shows first millennium Buddhist artwork in India, with a goddess such as Dura and gods such as Ganesha, as well as Buddhas caving other parts of India where these arts are older. Numerous Buddhist deity of Tandra traditions are also carved in these caves. So one of the things that really upsets me when I go to different places, people putting carving of your names and initials onto the wall, which is really disrespectful, and as a responsible traveler, I urge you not to do so. We have to keep these monuments for our future generations and not damage them or vandalize them like this. Now, before you get cave fatigue, I only have one more to go, and I promise, it's the most spectacular and not too far. By the way, it's another UNESCO World Heritage Site. You will need to feel out outside the entrance since the cave complex is very big, and there is no food inside for sale. So let's settle down at the quality restaurant for us to have a proper meal first. And let me introduce you to my favorite Indian dish. So we are on our way to Ellora Caves, and there's many inexpensive restaurants nearby, and today what I'm going to try is something called thali. What thali is basically is a plate with different type of dishes onto one, and they serve it with rice and also with some yogurt to help digestion. The name thali means platter, the Indian name for the round platter used to serve food. It is also referred to this Indian style of meal that made out of a selection of various dishes which are served on a single platter. The idea behind thali is to offer all 6 different flavors of sweet, salt, bitter, sour, astringent, and spicy on a single plate. According to Indian food custom, a proper meal should be a perfect balance of all 6 flavors. Restaurants typically offer a choice of vegetarian or meat-based thalis.
So this is my first paneer pakora. I love anything cheese and anything fried, so the combination I can only imagine is amazing. Nice and crispy on the outside, rich, creamy in the inside, delicious.
By the way, don't feed these cuties. You may end up killing them. I'll explain later. On the official website, it's 250 rupees per person. For foreigners, now it's 500, and they don't bother to update their website, which makes it really frustrating when you come here. Now, thank goodness we do have extra money, but just be cautious that what you see online might not reflect the reality. The Ellora Cave is one of the largest rock-cut monastery temple cave complex in the world. Although the cave serves as monastery, temple, and a rest stop for pilgrims, it is located on an ancient South Asian trade route which made it an important commercial center in Deccan region.
So within these hills there are 34 caves that have been carved up. There's a mixture between Hindu caves and temples, Buddhism, as well as Jain religion.
The overlapping style between the Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain cave has made it difficult to establish agreement concerning the chronology of their construction. The dispute generally concerned 1. Whether the Buddhist or Hindu caves were carved first, and 2. Relative dating of the cave within a particular tradition. However, it's agreed that caves have 3 important building periods. An early Hindu period between 500 to 600 CE, a Buddhist period between 600 to 730 CE, and the later Hindu and Jain phase between 730 to 950 CE. We're here at cave number 16, the most well-known cave within this complex, and it's famous across India for many reasons. First is size, and number 2 is architecture, and finally, the whole complex is carved out a single rock. The cave number 16 in particular features the largest single monolithic rock excavation in the world, the Krishna Temple, a chariot-shaped monument dedicated to Shiva. A Krishna Temple also features goddess and goddesses in mythology found in Vaishnavism and Shaktism, as well as relief panels summarizing 2 major Hindu epics. Now behind me is actually another important cave. It's cave number 10. And this is one of the few caves where there is a chapel-like hall for worship. Notable among the Buddhist cave is number 10, the teacher worship hall called Via Karma Cave, literally the cave of the one who accomplished everything, or the architect of the gods. Built around 650 CE, it is known as a carpenter's cave because the rock have been given a finish that have appearance of wooden beam. Beyond the multi-story entry is a cathedral-like Shupa hall known as Prayer's House. At the heart of the cave is a 15-foot statue of Buddha seated in a preaching position. The cave number 30 to 34 are located at the north end of Ellora and require a shuttle bus or a long hike. There are 5 junk caves belonging to Decamabara set, which are excavated in the 9th and the early 10th century. These caves are smaller than the Buddhist and the Hindu caves, but nonetheless feature highly detailed carvings. They and later Hindu caves are built at a similar time. Both share the architectural and devotional ideas such as Palaviranda, Salimala Bahusa, and puja or worship.
So whenever you come to any historical site, there are always guys trying to sell things. They follow you around. Sometimes you want to help a guy make a buck, but at the same time, it gets really annoying to have them follow you everywhere. So right now, Charles is trying to talk his way out of buying something, but we'll see how successful he is. I'm a little more firm, and I said no from the beginning, so I'm free and clear of this guy, but Charles has been too kind. How much? Too much? Nope. Also, he has to rely on my money right now because he's having problems with ATM. So I have to give him the money. If I don't like the price, even though it's not for me, I'm not giving him the money. So this is our last stop at the Ellora Caves. There are 34. We made it to maybe 16. It's a lot of walking. And we're exhausted from yesterday. And we still have to take a night train to Mumbai tonight. So I think I'll see you next in Mumbai. Peace.
Yes, it's time for the overnight 8-hour bus ride to Mumbai. Once again, remember not to drink too much liquids due to lack of pit stop. With that being said, welcome to Mumbai. Mumbai has been one of the center of India's urbanization for over 200 years. In the 1850s, after a decade of urban growth under East India Company and the British Raj, the city's population reached 500,000. The urban era covered mostly the southern extension of the Mumbai Peninsula. The population density was over 10 times higher than London at the time.
You're at New Vasantashram. My dad started in 1947.
Once again, I'd like to take a few seconds to thank Hotel New Vasantashram for providing us with our logistics support for the filming of Mumbai. This is a 71-year-old family-run hotel that offers budget dorms and private rooms located right at the heart of bustling bazaar of Crawford's Market. Thanks, guys. Our first stop is a filming location at Academy Award-winning film Slumdog Millionaire at the Asia's largest slums, Dharavi.
So I'm here in the Dharavi slum. This is also partially where they filmed Slumdog Millionaire. I'm on top of a rooftop right now, and they're just drying out some plastic bits. They recycle all types of plastic, and then they make it into little pellets and sell it to companies to make new products.
This is also where we met our guy Mohammed, an enthusiastic and enterprising young Dharavi local. Founded the walking tour business after previously working at a call center and learning English. He has been able to fund his education with the money from his guided tour.
You know, not many foreigners visit Dharavi and they are mostly curious. This is, world third largest slum. There are 10,000 different business and yearly income $665 million. Now I will tell you how Dharavi was built. Actually, the oldest house in Dharavi in 1960. Before it was like a dumping ground, empty. but people started to come here from North India, South India. They built their home. Now they are working and living here legally.
Dhobi has an area of just over 2.1 square kilometers with a population of 700,000. It is one of the densest areas in the world. As a result, Mohammed has given us some safety advice.
Please be careful of low roof, hanging wire. We will walk through a very small narrow, so please be careful.
The space here is really tight, immensely tight.
Big movie theater, cinema hall. So we have like a local video. Here they show Bollywood movie.
The slum was founded in 1883 during the British colonial era and grew in part because of the expulsion of factories and residents from the peninsula city center by the colonial government, and from the migration of poor rural Indians into the urban Mumbai, then called Bombay. For this reason, Dhobi is currently a highly multi-religious, multi-ethnic, and diverse settlement. So everything can be recycled here. In fact, what they are doing right now is they are separating different quality and color of plastics, and they turn to these pallets right here. There's only 3 hours of water, so the residents have to be very careful, and they put their water inside these bins right there, the blue bins. Dhobi has an active informal economy in which numerous household enterprises employ many other slum residents. Leather, textile, and pottery products are among the goods made inside Dhobi. An impressive total annual turnover have been estimated at over $1 billion.
As a resident of Dharavi, I am trying to dispel the negative image of slum. I always say to outsiders, don't look Dharavi from outside, look from inside, interact with the people, meet the local people, then you will know what is going on here and what mean of Dharavi.
The most polluting industry is tanneries, and the first tannery moved from Peninsula Mumbai to Dhobi in 1887. People who work with leather typically are professionals of the lowest Hindu caste and of Muslim Indians. Today, Dhobi is famous for its leather goods and export them all over the world. Sarah decided to support the local economy by picking one of the fashionable handbags up. But remember this, bargain. And bargain hard, really hard. To save time, we took a taxi to do something urgent, life or death. I accidentally spilled a curry on my t-shirt. I'm going to fix that problem by visiting the world's largest open-air laundry, the world-famous Dhobi Ghat. Although there is no formal admissions fee to visit the ground floor, you may be asked to give $5 to $10. Politely decline, or give them $1 or $2. This is a very famous worldwide, located right beside the railway station. This is the world's largest open-air laundry, and a lot of these people that works here actually pass on this profession from their families. The washer known as dhobis work in the open to clean clothing and linens from Mumbai's hotels and hospitals. It was constructed in 1890. There are rows of open-air concrete wash pens, each fitted with its own flogging stones. For 18 to 20 hours each day, over 7,000 workers flog, scrub, dye, and bleach clothing on concrete wash pen, dry them on the rope, neatly press them, and transport the garment to different parts of the city. Over 100,000 pieces of laundry are washed each day. It's estimated the annual turnover of Dhobi Ghat is around $13 million. Next, we need to eat. It's important we get that out of the way before Sarah starts to complain and become grumpy. Our amazing guy Mohammed offered to take us to a real local restaurant without the tourist price. Today, we are going to try something that I can't pronounce. So the first dish is aloo makan fry. It's actually potatoes mixed together with lentils, I believe. Sorry for my pronunciation. This is paneer. It's actually cheese mixed with potatoes. Yes, potatoes. So the vegetable is actually beneath the rice. So make sure you stir it well. After the meal, we need to get going to see a big elephant. Yes, to save time, we use Ola and choose a car option to fit all of us. We need to reach a gate out India, where you need to purchase a round-trip ferry ticket for a 13 kilometers and 50 minutes ride. The Elephant Island. Sorry guys, I lied. The island was once a capital of a powerful local kingdom, and today it has only a population of 1,200. Its inhabitants mainly involved in growing rice, fishing, and repairing boats, and that's what we are here to do as a volunteer. Just joking. We are here to see Elephant Island's most popular tourist attraction, the island's cave temples, and also to meet some new friends. There is a tourist landing tax on the island, but not much. However, this is what pissed me off the most.
So, Indians 30, foreigners 500 times by 10. Yeah, there is such a foreigner price here.
But before going further, I was stopped by a fan.
So this is God.
Hello.
And one thing I'm really happy that I met you today because you told me the destination each episode makes you went there.
I'm going to go there because
You're gonna go there.
I haven't been there yet, but I'm going to go after watching.
Well, can you make me a promise?
Of course, yeah.
I want you to start your own YouTube channel, inspire everyone else to go.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Well, yeah.
GoPro.
GoPro. I have a GoPro. I can start, I guess.
That's all I need.
All right, cool.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Keep watching.
I will.
Now, let me remind everyone not to feed these monkeys, and here's why. By doing so, you're actually signing their death warrant. When the tourists come with food, they normalize this behavior and will become aggressive with anyone who doesn't come with food. Often, they will try to snatch your mobile phones or small belongings. As a result, the authorities have no choice but to destroy the aggressive monkeys, and often their entire families who they felt are posing dangers to other tourists. Therefore, I urge you not to feed them.
So other side.
The Elephant Cave are UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a collection of cave temples predominantly dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. The complex consists of Shiva caves and few Buddha's Shubha Mount that might be dated to 2nd century BCE, as well as a small group of 2 Buddha's cave with water tanks. The cave is carved from solid basalt rock and contains rock-cut stone sculpture that shows symbolism of Hindu and Buddhist ideas in iconologies. However, sadly, except for few exceptions, much of the artwork is defaced and damaged. The complexes are fairly small and shouldn't take more than an hour to thoroughly explore all of them. Sarah and I returned to the ferry to catch a spectacular sunset and a closer look at another famous landmark in Mumbai and all of India. The Gateway of India at the Palo Bandar is an arch monument built during the 20th century, erected to commemorate the landing of King George V and Queen Mary at this very site on their visit to India in 1911. However, they only got to see the cardboard model of this monument, since the construction did not begin until 1915. The last British troop to leave India following the country's independence, the 1st Battalion of Somerset Light Infantry, passed through the gateway on their way out in a ceremony on February 28, 1948. Signaling the end of the British rule. The traffic in Mumbai is extremely unpredictable. I recommend you arrive at least an hour in advance to your bus or train stop in a very real case of traffic jam. Once again, I'd like to thank Sujata, the owner of Hotel New Restaurant, for helping us arranging the logistics and bus transportation. Or else, we will not be going to Goa, and here's why.
It's so hard to get tickets. It's so hard to get tickets. As many websites don't accept international credit cards, so rely on local hostels to help us book the tickets. I hope we'll be in Goa soon. Fingers crossed. So once you get to Makusa right here, the coach will drop you off over there, but you need to walk about 100 meters this way, and where you can find buses that goes to Arjuna. So look up the sign and find the one that says Arjuna Beach.
The local buses are very crowded, so be fast to get on. Once again, be aware of pickpocketing. Don't count the air conditioning on these buses. They don't exist, but there is a solution.
My goodness, it's truly hot, and I'm waiting for the bus to leave. But if you cannot handle the heat, there's another solution. This guy is selling ice creams.
Once you arrive at your home base at Arjuna Beach, you need to take a tuk-tuk to your hotel. Goa is a very popular tourist attraction, so everything is overpriced and you got to haggle, including the fare of your ride. With that being said, I'd like to thank my accommodation sponsor, Wonderland Hostel. They offer both dorm beds and private rooms along with a tree house. Oh yeah. As well, a chill common area for you to relax. They also offer free filtered waters and inexpensive breakfast every morning. Located on India's west coast, Goa is a small state by Indian standards. It is a former Portuguese colony with a rich history. Famous for many of its beaches, since the 1960s, Goa has been attracting a steady flow of visitors. Pilgrims visiting Catholic and Hindu shrines, those opt to settle in Goa as their home. Today, Goa attracts more than 2.5 million visitors each year, including 400,000 foreigners.
So one of the best ways to get around, I don't recommend buses or anything. The best way to get around here is by getting a scooter. Make sure you fill it up. 1 liter goes approximately 30 kilometers or so, but don't fill up to the top because when you return the bike, you don't get any of the petrol money back. Fill up as you go along.
But make sure to carry a copy of your driver's license from your home country, or else be prepared to pay bribes to corrupt police everywhere. I am not joking.
So we're gonna start right here to our first attractions. Remember the rules. Helmet, safety comes first. Also fill up the petrol because there's no gas station along the way. With that being said, let's have an amazing journey today ahead.
Our first stop is the well-preserved 17th century Portuguese built Fort Aguada and its lighthouse on Singrom Beach, overlooking the Arabian Sea.
So welcome to Aguada Fort. This is our first attraction of the day. The best part is free and you get a magnificent view.
Oh shoot, I'll be back. Let Sarah take over.
I'm here at Aguada Fort and we spent about 45 minutes on the scooter to get here, going through town, very busy and fun. It was a fun ride, but the real most important thing you must remember, aside from gas and your helmet, it's to not forget your keys inside the little motorcycle thing, or else you're gonna have to run back like this, hoping nobody has stolen your vehicle. Okay, and from here I can hear the sigh of relief. We found his key in the vehicle. We're all good to go with the rest of our journey today.
How embarrassing. Anyways, the fort was constructed in 1612 to guard against the Dutch and Marathas. It was a reference point for vessels coming from Europe at the time. The old Portuguese fort stands on the beach south of Catalim and the shore of Mondovi River. A freshwater spring within the fort provides the water supply to ships that used to stop by. This is how the fort got its name, Aguada, meaning water. The crew of the passing ship will often visit to replenish their freshwater stores. On the fort stands a 4-story Portuguese lighthouse, erected in 1864, and the oldest of its kind in Asia. The fort was once a grandstand of 79 canyons. It has a capacity of storing 2.4 million gallons of water, one of the largest freshwater storage of the time in all of Asia. We got lost along the way to our next attraction, but we have no complaints since the place we bumped into offers complimentary accommodations.
If you wonder what happened to you if you misbehave here in Goa, well, this is the Central Goa Jail. But you do get free accommodations and meals, I think 3 times a day, at least. I hope so, maybe twice.
Well, it might be free, but I can't guarantee the comfort level, so I'd rather confess my sins instead of going to jail. That's why I'm heading off to another UNESCO World Heritage Site. But don't worry, this is not another Hindu temple. It's about an hour away by scooter. The church's name, Bom Jesus, is a name used for isi homo in countries of Portuguese colonization. The Jesuit church is India's first minor basilica and is considered one of the best examples of Baroque architecture in India.
This is the Basilica of Bom Jesus located here in Old Goa, the capital of Goa during the early days of Portuguese rule.
Now, its significance is not the fact that it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site or its age, but it actually holds the remains of the St. Francis Xavier. The construction work on the church began in 1594, and the church was consecrated in May 1605 by the Archbishop of that time. The World Heritage Monument has emerged as a landmark in the history of Christianity. Adjacent to the basilica is home to a white complex that houses the Museum of Christian Art, the Archaeological Museum of Goa, and the Wax World Museum featuring the simple likeness of most Indian historical figures and celebrities. My scooter adventures continue, but once again, make sure to fill up on petrol, or else you'll be high and dry, since this will be a 70-kilometer long ride, one way. Also, here is another advice. So I'm continuing my journey towards the waterfall, and be sure to get some sun lotion because I'm pretty burned up right now. But this is the way. We shall continue. So after like 2 hours scooter from the Basilica, I came here and I found out that the only way to get to the waterfall is through there. And either you need a jeep, which is 400 rupees, or you have to take a train. And the train leaves right now, so I have to rush back and see if I have the luck of taking it across and see the waterfall. You get to the rail, you will see like a bridge to go across. And I'm actually rushing right now to hopefully able to get tickets to get there. So bad news, no way to get to the waterfall. Train will pass it, but you cannot get off, and it's really frustrating, let's put it that way. I'm going back. Also, if possible, download a free offline map, and here's why. And one thing I don't understand is, how could you have a cell phone tower this close while have such a horrible reception? To be honest with you, Sarah and I have been fighting over nothing, absolutely nothing, pretty much all night. I'm a little tired of her, so I drop her off at the hotel closer to town center for a pickup to do some diving. So I'm going to be a free man for a day. My first morning stop is another fort located at the nearby hill. After getting up the hill, this is where we park. It's cost 10 rupees and the entrance that way. So I came a little bit early and it's closed right now, so hopefully it's gonna be open soon. But I'm not gonna wait around. Let's launch the drone. Before the Portuguese arrived in Goa in 1510, this location was the site of another fort. The fort changed hands several times after Portuguese acquired Bardes, the name of the region in North Goa. Trying to end the Portuguese rule in Goa, Prince Archaeobald joined his father's enemies, the Marathes, in 1683 and made this place his base camp. It became the northern outpost of Old Conquest after the Portuguese recovered from our encounter with Marathes. They strengthened their northern defense and provide shelter to the people there. Now there's really not much to see here, but it is free. You get a nice view of the ocean. So just make sure you bring your sunscreen because it's really hot. The Jaipur Fort is a present fort and was built in 1717, replacing the older fortification. The fort was named after the Jaipur River, which is right below, and has a little beach. I don't think I can recommend this beach. It's very small and it's littered with trash. I mean, that's all you get. So we're gonna go to our next beach. Hopefully it's gonna be a lot better than this. Now you simply can't just come to Goa without experiencing its beaches. There's many beaches, but this is one of the major beaches. And it's also very clean, and it's also just about 10 minutes away from the Jaipur Fort. With that being said, it's my turn to experience the beaches. So let's get beach ready. The Vacator Beach is really laid back and has a dramatic cliff open door to some of the most exquisite view in Goa. But if you prefer a little bit of a party scene, I got you covered. So this is the second beach I'm going to showcase. It's Arjuna Beach, and as you can see, it's the biggest, also most busiest and popular beach here in Goa. Now, it's really hot regardless which beach you go to. That's why I'm actually covering myself out to protect myself from skin burn. One way to stay cool is if you go to one of those restaurants, you can just buy like a little drink and you can stay in the shade. With that being said, let's check out what this beach has to offer. The Arjuna Beach is not just the most popular beach in Goa, but a destination which has seen hippie cultures long back. It's famous for its beach among the foreigners. This seaside is well known among the backpackers, hippies, lawn stayers, and the ones who are looking for cheap stays or a guest house nearby. This is where Sarah's came yesterday after she get lost. Good choice, girl!
This is right across from the Wonderland Hostel that I'm staying at right now, and like most places here on the beach, they have dogs all over the place. I have one sitting next to me here, and they play and interact with everybody on the beach. They're street dogs, I believe, and yet they're like let in the restaurant and they just hang out with everybody here.
Arjuna can be a bit crowded, especially in the month of December and January. With so many tourists, it comes with a great scam opportunities. Beware of policemen asking you for favors. It's a good idea to ask them for identities in case they threaten you for anything. Or take the local people's help. Also beware of gym scams where people become friends with you and ask to do business with you. It's not a good idea to entertain them.
This is the area of the beach that is going to have the big party tonight. There'll be thousands of people, from what I've been told, just hanging out on the beach, listening to music, and partying.
But let's get going and check how Sarah's diving is coming along. Or should I say how impressive the diving here in Goa.
So I'm here in Goa, going for a dive with Rasmus.
Hello.
And we've been waiting for about 3 hours to jump in the water. And they just called my name, so I'm gonna suit up and hopefully we can both jump in together.
The typical full-day diving costs about $30 to include pickup and drop-off at a hotel within the town center. Rental equipment and lunch also provided. It typically leaves around 8 a.m. and returns between 3 to 4 p.m.
We've just surfaced. The waters are sometimes somewhat clear here, but most often not, because there are two rivers that join together, so it's quite muddy. I'm hoping to go in the Andaman Islands next week and have some really good footage from there.
While Sarah's enjoying her dive, I decided to check out town seafood. Honestly, Goa's surrounded by water. They honestly can't possibly screw this up. I decided to pay a visit to off-beaten-path local, non-touristy restaurant, and that only offer one dish, fish tale. They said that they make the best curry fish in the entire world. So I decided to come here and try it out. So here you go. This is the famous fish curry. So that's a piece of fish, potatoes, I guess a little bit of salad. And I'm really excited to try it out. I'm going to try to use my hand. I will try. Yeah, that's good.
Curry rice is special.
Yeah. Curry rice.
And this is for you, one bronze.
Thank you. My God, the owner gave me a prawn.
Prawn, eh?
Very special.
You are a very lucky man.
I am a lucky man.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be here to eat the wonderful food. By the way, it's really hard to eat with one hand and film with the other hand. You do need some special training and talent for that. Wow, this is actually a really interesting meal. This is as authentic Goan as it can get. With that being said, I'm really full. And time to pay up and get going.
So that is the room we stayed in last night here at Wonderland Hostel. Super chill place here in Goa at Anjuna Beach, and we're about to take another 12 to 14 hour bus ride to Hampi. So just chilling with a little bit of beer, and gonna have a quick snack and take a taxi over to Mapsa or Mapusa. Although locals call it Mapsa, so keep that in mind.
Sarah and I might not like each other, but we both love Goa, and it's a little sad. Also, be sure to book your bus as soon as possible. Please spend a little bit more money to get the air-conditioned sleepers bus. By the way, this is how the instruction on how buses work here. So on the bus going to Hampi leaves on here, right across from the petrol station right there. So how it works is after you book your bus, you're not going to get bus number. You have to call them roughly about 20 minutes before the departure, which I'm going to do soon, and find out the bus number. With that being said, I hope we have a smooth ride tonight. So this bus left at 6 p.m. and right now it's around like 11:30 or so. So we're just here at the pit stop where people can get some food, go to the bathroom, and do all that. The bus smells horrible, this one, actually, because there's no linens, and it's pretty not pleasant, but there's only 6 more hours to go. With that being said, let's hope we have a rest in our sleep and we can begin our day tomorrow. However, at last we made it to our home base here in Hotspot, means New City. It's a city in Bari district of Karnataka. Built in the 1520 AD, it's 12 kilometers from Hampi. Hampi is a World Heritage Site containing the ruins of medieval city of Vijayanagara. It's a former capital of the Vijayanagara Empire. I'd like to sincerely thank Hotel Priyadarshini Classic for providing us with an extremely comfortable accommodation for the filming of Hampi. They offer both basic rooms with air conditioning, fresh towels and linens, as well as luxury suite with the exclusive price section, offering larger rooms with designer furnishings, in-suite fridges and on-demand room service. They also have amazing in-house dining, but we'll get to that later. Thanks guys. Alright, the best way to get to Hampi is by hiring a full day ticket drive for about $9. The ride is about half an hour, so buckle up. Actually, never mind, there's no seatbelt. Our first attraction is Aputure Temple. Once again, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So we are here at the Aputure. Kids, they like me, but they also make me unproductive. Alright, take 2 please. So we're here at the Aputure Temple located in Hampi, a UNESCO World Heritage Site built in 7th century. This temple was actually built under the Vyama Empire, which translates into Victory Empire. It's also the former capital of South India. And now, let me introduce you to Lakshmi, the temple elephant of the Aputure Temple. Hampi is the capital of Vijayanagara Empire and set on the banks of Tunabhadra River. The Aputure Temple is the main center of pilgrimage in Hampi. The temple's history is uninterrupted from the 7th century. The Aputure Papa century existed well before Vijayanagara capital was located here. It is intact among the surrounding ruins and is still used in worship. The temple is dedicated to the Lord Shiva, known here as Vinapusha, as a consort of local goddess Pandadevi, who is associated with the Tunabhadra River. Inscription referring to Shiva dating back to 9th and 10th century. What started as a small shrine grew into a large complex under Vijayanagara rulers. It is more difficult to tell what's more charming in Hampi, whether it's the thrill of the architecture or the bizarre looking landscape. Yes, the landscape is made out of miles and miles of boulder hills. Thanks to elements in the faulty line on this rocky surface, cracks formed and the never-ending boulder formation started. The natural erosion polished the Cyclopean boulders into bizarre shapes. The wind and the rain has continuously swept away the soft soils, exposing the hard rocky outcrop. In fact, what you see in Hampi is one of the oldest surface one can see on Earth. Built in 1513 AD, Krishna Temple is among the group of monuments which are currently listed as a part of World Heritage Monument by UNESCO. This temple is dedicated to Lord Balakrishna, a form of Lord Krishna when he was an infant. The temple is known for its exquisite carvings and elegant architectural designs, as King Krishna Diagriya is a lover of art. It is adorned with pillar halls and many small shrines. This is one rare temple which have epics described on its tower walls. More or less, this temple is fairly intact and stands to the testimonial to the prosperous reign under Vijayanagara rule. Honestly, there's too many temples in this complex. I'll try to keep them brief. Next one, Vadabi Linga Temple. Vadabi means poor in local language. The linga was made by a poor woman, hence got the name Vadabi Linga. In this simple shrine, 3 meters high monolith, Shiva's linga is the largest in Hampi. The synchron in which the linga is stored in is always filled with water, as a water channel is made to flow through it. Hence, the chamber is always full of water. This adds a mysterious calmness to this small temple. Sarah wanted to take a break and grab a souvenir coin. I don't mind a single bit as long as she follows the rule. Bargain and bargain hard. And don't ask me for money. Let's move on. Next, underground Shiva temple. Strangely, this temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva, but it was built many meters underground. For this reason, almost all the time, the synchron and the core part of the temple are underwater, restricting the entry to the inner areas. So if you're afraid of bats, don't come in here. It's a lot. A water canal system is visible around the main temple, but this canal is only partially submerged and you can walk around to the point it's impossible to go further. There's a small temple for Shiva's consort near the male shrine. The interior structure is Kanapatapura Ceremonial Marriage Hall. It has been believed that this is one of the oldest temples in Hampi. If you're a coin collector, you'll love the mint area. Archaeologists and historians are at different opinions about the status of this area. The argument varies. A section of the experts believe that it is here where the state mint is located. Others believe that this was the area of the city officials and high-ranking officers are stationed. Another school of archaeologists believe that this has been used as military training area for the elite army.
Standing inside the enclosure of the Royal Mint, which basically housed the royal women, the elephants, and the royal dining hall and kitchens. It's quite a large complex and lots to explore.
Now, all the sites mentioned above do not require any ticket to enter. However, a composite ticket is required for a Loyal Center containing both Lotus Mahal and Linga Temple. In addition, it is valid for the same-day access to Reptile Temple and Archaeological Museum. Also known as Chechimani Mahal and Karma Mahal, the exact function is not surely known. Built in the 16th centuries, it's one of the best preserved of all courtly structures in Hampi, and was left undamaged during the siege of the city. The current theory is Lotus Mahal was used as a council chamber. Unlike other major structures in Hampi, this is made of lime mortars and brick-made compositions. More than anything else, the principal attraction in this temple is a huge slab with the image of Hanuman carved on it. In its near perfectly preserved mini temple, it contains many beautifully carved idols and goddesses. It's also the site of the elephant stable. Now this is Riga Temple. It's another temple located within the Royal Center. Its twin complex here is dedicated to Lord Vyasu and his consort Lakshmi.
Could you imagine owning 11 elephants or more? There's room for 11 elephants here in Hampi at the Royal Stables. I could just imagine being queen and having that many elephants. I would be in heaven.
We stopped to take a lunch break before continuing on. There's many type of thalis, and here's another variety. We drove by the Archaeological Museum. It's included in your ticket price, but not allowed to film inside. Yeah, we do have to respect the rules. So, let's move on to another temple included in the price, but the right up the hill is not. The Vietta Temple is the most artistically sophisticated and the largest Hindu temple in Hampi. It is unclear when the temple complex was built and who built it. Most scholars date it to a period of construction in the early to mid 16th centuries.
So this used to be marking a bazaar during the Vijayanagar kingdom until it fell.
This ancient temple is especially well known for its exceptional architecture and unmatched craftsmanship. The iconic temple has amazing and incomparable fascinating array of stone sculptures and musical pillars carved along these halls. The slender and short plaster carved out of a giant pillar emits musical tones and when tapped. But for the sake of preservation, we urge you not to do so to avoid damaging these magnificent structures. One of the most famous wheel chariot was once functional and could be rotated by people. But some years ago, the government cemented the wheel in order to avoid causing damage to them any further.
So we're ending our day here at Vijaya Temple, and we're gonna head out to the mountaintop to check out the sunset. There are great sunrises and sunsets because there are many viewpoints here in the city.
This is one of the most beautiful temples, which is amazing yet not that famous. The mythical association with this temple includes Rama and Lakshmana. We were tired and headed back to a comfortable hotel for the night. We were treated by Hotel Priyadarshini's in-house restaurant to a spectacular dinner.
Let me show you what I'm eating. This is gobi manchuria. It's an Indo-Chinese, so it's almost like General Tso chicken. It's really good. So this is called peppercorn. It's made out of rice flowers, and I'm gonna try it right now. It tastes like shrimp, chips, Asian shrimp, but it's not. A bit of saltiness, crispy. It tastes almost like chips, but a healthier version.
Oh yeah, this is just the starter. Then we have this, and this, and this.
It takes the spice level down on the rice, so it's always nice to have a milk product, like a buttermilk or some kind of yogurt with your meal.
But finally, we need to try some street food. First up.
So this is dai curry. It's basically a baked good and it's hollow. They poke a hole inside of it and put some liquid and everything else in it, but it's one shot.
Ah, good job. So here's another street food here. It's called shell pudding. So the top is basically has a feeling of potatoes, and the bottom is almost like crackers. So that being said, courtesy of this amazing restaurant in our hotel, it's time to give it a shot. Is it one bite?
Yeah, one bite.
One bite in one shot. Okay. It's really good. It has a sweetness to it, and the crunchiness in the bottom.
This is gelatized coconut pudding. It's made from pure coconut milk and it has little chunks of almonds on the top of it. It's chilled, so it's nice and cool and creamy and delicious. I could eat a whole thing myself.
We were fortunate enough to get a behind-the-scene look at the restaurant's kitchen, and Sarah got to make her very, own Indian pancake dosa for the first time. I can't guarantee if she's going to get paid, but at least she can add this experience to her resume. I started to get a little sick, coughing the whole night, so we decided to wake up a little later around 9 a.m. But at least I have enough to pay for the full day tuk-tuk to get to our first attraction. Oh yes, more temples, but only a few more to go. As well, enough to pay for the toilet. Keeping in mind, they are not free. The Chandramahawala Temple is the only temple that has a beautiful natural scene with the water at the banks of Yukon Lake. This river flows through the Western Ghats and drains in the Arabian Sea. The cool breeze make it ideal for a good picnic spot. It's also a good chance for you to see the day-to-day life of the locals, such as washing and drying clothing and taking bath at the lakeside. Despite being free, it is one of the temples in Hampi that is not crowded by tourists, as it is situated in a remote location and is not easy to reach. The temple is over 900 years old from Bahami Cherukhan era. The presence of 12th century stone inscription in Yukon village show that the temple belonged to 11th or to 12th century and is dedicated to the worship of Lord Shiva. The name of the temple is a combination of three words: Chandra, which means the moon, Mudi means the crown of the hair, and Ashwa means the Lord. Though together means the Lord who wears a moon crowned hair, refers to the Lord Shiva who has a crescent-shaped moon setting in his hair. Like many other structures in Hampi, this temple was built with huge blocks of stones. Sadly, due to the shifting sand, many parts of the temple and its compound walls have been reduced to a state of crumbling stones. Huge pieces of stone blocks and some collapsed part of the temple can be seen lying scattered in and around the temple compound. One of the most interesting sights cannot be seen until you go near it: the underground meeting room. So this is King's Chamber, and it's very steep, and back in the day, very few people knows of its existence, and where King talked about state secrets such as battle plans and war games and so on.
Space built with two entrances, so people could come in one entrance and he'd go the other to meet with him in private. It is soundproof, so it's really dark in here. Let's see how far we can make it. So this is one entrance, this is the second entrance.
Just a stone throw away is the tallest structure in the area. King Dasharia constructed this in commemoration on the victory over Garari and used this platform to watch the army march past, war games, aquatic sport, show our loyal animals, musical performance, and also most important celebration, the 9th day 9-night state festival. So this is the highest point. Here is where the king sits, overlooking his subjects. Also close by is Push Garane, a sacred water tank that attached to temples. The most famous step tank and used for rituals and functional aspect of the temple and the life surrounding it. Another example is octangular water pavilion near the Queen's Bath. The bath shelter has an octangle-shaped platform in the middle and an encircling pillar veranda around it. The final structure with a visit is Queen's Bath, and exemplify the architectural excellence and prevalent during the day of Vijayanagara Empire. The elaborate structure with a simpler exterior and an ornament interior, built in the Indo-Islamic style architecture. A large sunken bath constructed in the center of structure has an area of 15 square meters with a depth of 1.8 meters. The bath is surrounded by a beautiful arched corridor having pillars and projecting ornament balconies with windows. We finally saw pretty much everything that are worth seeing here in Hampi and decided to return back to our hotel. But not before stopping along the riverbank to take some shots of the water and kill some drone batteries. After a quick nap, the sun is coming down and I decided to go off the beaten path again. This time somewhat unusual. So the generous owner Rana Krishna of the hotel offered us a ride in order to beat the darkness.
So this is a really rare backside view of Tinka Factura Dam. It's the largest in India. The construction started in 1949 but completed in 1953. This is actually multi-purpose. It served as flood control, electricity generation, also as irrigations. Also known as Papasagar, it's constructed across Tumabhaja River, a tributary of Krishna River. Endemic famine region of Rayalaseema attracted attention of British engineers as early as 1860s to relieve the intensity of the famine in these districts. Proposals were made in 1860 to utilize the water of Tumabhaja through the storage reservoir and a system of canal to provide irrigation for the lands. Although Sir Arthur Cullen originally conceived this project in 1860, it only formally inaugurated by laying foundation stone on the 28th of February 1945 by Prince of Benar on the left side and by Sir Arthur Hope, the Governor of Madras, on the right side. On the way back, we decided to check out the sight and sound of the street of Hospital City Center. First, we check out many of the family-run stores selling textile garments. This is one of the most important industries in the city and remains one of the major sources of employment. I also like to go shopping at one of the Indian supermarkets. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Indian supermarket. So, how it works here, you come with a list, right? And then the halfway employees will go in, get everything you need, and you just pay the owners. That's it. Of course, not to forget the local food. So this is called kola. It's a very popular street dessert. It's made out of condensed milk and sugar. So it looks so fantastic, and also served in a lotus leaf. I'm going to try it right now. Oh my god. Oh wow. It's really good.
And this is basically tropical seafood of northern Karnataka. It's called girimit.
Right.
It's made of this puffed rice, and you've seen the process how that is mixed. It's mixed with a gravy, homemade, with all spices and tomatoes. You can taste it and...
Okay, now you have to teach me how to eat this. How do I do this?
You can have a bite of chili. With that. Bite this.
Wow, that's really hot.
Just be mindful of the chili. They are really hot.
One thing about Indian food, you eat with your hand. So suck it up. Eat it with your hand. Beautiful.
For those of you who want to bring home my Indian bride, listen up. The gold is super important in Indian weddings and are probably the single most important occasion whereby buying gold in India. But thank goodness, there are countless goldsmiths lining the street of hospital to find your perfect bride's gift. After all, an Indian bride always wears the jewelries that represent as a symbol of her husband. But we need to go back and pack for the bus tonight. Ramakrishna insists we try more of the specialty dishes in the restaurant. Given the fact that we are both single, let's start with some love.
See, I don't have a man, Charles doesn't have a woman. We get a vegetable cutlet heart for Valentine's Day.
As well as a 70mm dosa, a type of pancake from Indian subcontinent made from fermented batter. Traditionally, dosa is served hot along with sambar, a stuff of potatoes, and chutney. And there's multiple variants of dosa.
So I
just finished spreading some fresh butter on my palak paneer dosa. So basically it's a spinach and cheese dosa. So with the palak paneer dosa comes a ginger and jaggery dipping sauce. So basically it's a nice combination of sweet and savory.
Finally, after weeks of practice, I have mastered the art of eating thali.
There is a proper way eating thalis. First, step 1. You put all the cups up here. So the next, you need to start eating chapati with the end. By the way, please, you use your hand. So I believe this is how I'm going to do it. Now when you're finished with this, next step is you mix the rice. I'm going to take a little bit here with and mix mix with popcorn, and once you pour it, you do this, and then when you're ready, do you know how this is how you put it into your mouth? Use 4 fingers and like this. It's a little bit graphic, but tastes better when you eat with your hand, and every finger, I believe, has its own taste.
Even though we are full, there's always room for desserts.
So this is Raj Kachori. It is a street food from the Bengal region, and I have no idea what it is, but I'm excited to dig in. So I guess you use 2 spoons to eat it. So 3 layers, crunchy curd and the creamy soft custard inside. And if you want to try a little something different, you can take some fried spinach and crush it up, and then you mix it with the creaminess in this, and it just changes the flavor a little bit. And adds an extra layer of crunchiness, a different crunch, a little bit of deep fried like goodness added to it.
Lastly, I promise, we got this cute little fry ball sananda, another famous Indian dessert.
Sananda ball is a dessert. We only have one, so I have to share it. So basically it's got butter and sugar, so that's a thumbs up in my book, and then lentils. So it's kind of healthy for you. Here, try.
I give a thumbs up. And thank you so much for hosting us.
Yes.
And let me just introduce. This is the general manager of this amazing hotel. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, man. This is a simple man from India, right? Still visit Hampi and still visit Rajasthan. Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us. It has been amazing. Very enjoyable stay here.
With that being done, we got another 9-hour bus ride. Let me update you on the status of my health. It's getting worse.
So last night I coughed a bit, and man, it's not as pleasant as I wish I could say. But anyways, I did sleep and I'm ready for today.
Remember I told you not to drink too much if you are taking the bus. Well, I missed the pit stop and I had to do what I had to do.
So we have been waiting here for our Ola driver to show up, but sometimes it's get confusing. One of the best things to do is give the phone to a local who speaks English and ask them to tell the driver where we are. Our driver here for Ola basically have a flat tire for quite some time, and he just didn't replace the tire. So he had to come down, and we few like stops to pump the air in and continue.
We're only going to stay in Bangalore for 1 day, and we are lucky to have Tribo chain of hotels providing assistance to us with the filming of this city. This is where we're going to leave our belongings and fuel up for the breakfast with the delicious all-you-can-eat buffet included in most accommodations. Thanks, guys. Bangalore is the capital of Indian state of Karnataka. It has a population of over 10 million, making it a mega city and the third most populous city in India. Sometimes it referred as Silicon Valley of India. The city is also known for its parks and nightlife. Hence, the city is nicknamed the Garden City.
So we've just arrived in Bangalore this morning. We're gonna head out to one of the palaces just now and gonna try to take the local bus there.
The local bus? Good luck, girlfriend. Either stick with meter tuk-tuk or Ola. It's not expensive and is the best way to get around. Right now we're in Tipu Sultan Summer Palace here in Bangalore. Now this is an example of an Indo-Islamic art. This used to be a summer palace for a former Mycenaean ruler, Tipu Sultan. Now, the construction actually didn't start with him, it actually started with during his father's reign. But it wasn't until his reign it was completed. Tipu's father, Hyder Ali, commenced its construction within a wall of Bangalore fort, but it was completed during the reign of Tipu Sultan in 1791, hence named after him. After Tipu Sultan's death in the 4th Anglo-Mysore War, the British administration used the palace for secretariat before moving to Atra Kochi in 1868. The structure is devoid of heavy adorned marbles, red sandstones, and rather uses structure built entirely of twig and stands adorned with pillars, arches, and balconies. This uniqueness stands out, yet they blend well with the whole architectural style.
Summer Palace was completed by Tipu Sultan. He seemed like a really cool dude. He defeated the British quite a few times and didn't stand for any corruption in his government or with his officers, and really helped out with the poor and agriculture. So if you're here in Bangalore, check out the Summer Palace. It's a nice little place to stroll and check out the gardens.
Also share the wall of the old fort is called Vendakumarnana Temple, one of the very ancient temples. Built in 1689 and dedicated to the god Vendashramanana, there has been many carving out animals and scenes from the ancient Hindu mythology stories and along with other deities worshipped here. Despite praying to all these Hindu temples, my condition got worse. The air pollution here is really making me sick, really bad. It's killing my lungs right now. So I decided it might be time to pay a visit to St. Mary's Basilica. Maybe Jesus will be a little bit more easy on my throat, and also a chance for me to confess my sin. Located at the Archdiocese of Bangalore, St. Mary's has a humble beginning as a thatched hut in the 17th century, built by the Tamil Christians migrated from Gili, and is one of the oldest churches in the city. It is also the first church in the state that has been elevated to the status of minor basilica.
I've never seen this before, but there's salt, so I'm not sure if it's from her crying over Jesus, and that's why it's salt, but people touch the statue and pray at the statue and then take a piece of salt and eat it. Another interesting thing is everybody seemed to purchase flowers and candles and light them and say prayers inside the church. I've seen candles in the churches before, many churches, Catholic churches, but I've never seen them with the Indian style with all the flowers. So it's a little bit of an Indian take on the Catholic traditions.
The basilica is located right near the Russell's Market, built in 1927 by the British and inaugurated in 1933 by Ismail Sut, a banker, businessman, and Muslim community leader who served as a member of Madras Legislative Council. It is one of the oldest markets in Bangalore.
I could spend all day here in the market.
No, mainly.
So this is a sweet naan I've never had before. It is made with sweetened condensed milk and coconut, and is nice and warm and delicious, and I could eat a whole one by myself right now.
The intention is to organize a chaotic market of cantonment area which cater meat, fruit, vegetables, and flowers from around the world to the British settlement in Bangalore throughout the 19th and into the early 20th centuries.
This market is quite large. You can buy fruits and vegetables or kids' toys, maybe a cricket racket. It just goes on and on and on. It's quite a large market. Oh, and it's just making me so hungry.
The indoor structure of the market is made from brickwork of lime and mortars, roofed by a sheet of aluminum supported by a framework of imported steel girders. This structure was built in Indo-Saraconic style, incorporating the Hindu architectural elements in the bell dome capped with the Gothic spires and the Islamic architecture in the scalloped arches, all constructed carefully to serve as a testimonial to the marvel of British engineering. If you like shopping, then the best place to visit is Mahatma Gandhi Road, or commonly referred as MG Road. This is where you find all the high-end stores. But we are here for one reason, to get a breathtaking view of the city from the Barton Center. Many of its bars, lounge, and restaurants within the complex offer an outdoor patio with a spectacular panoramic view of Bangalore. However, if you got lots of money to spare like the crazy rich Asians that Sarah's looking for, as well as foreign luxury brand name stores, then check out the most exclusive shopping center in Bangalore, the UV City. For us, we got no time and have to get going to our next bus ride. That's not that interesting, so let's skip to the arrival and update you on my voice.
So finally I arrived at Chennai, but my voice is totally gone.
Once again, let's get our sponsor hotel out of the way. I'd like to thank Zalsto Chennai for providing us with a nice bunk bed for a change. They offer very comfortable beds and clean bathrooms, TV lounge, and full kitchen with a very reasonably priced breakfast and a rooftop. Thank you guys. Chennai is the capital of the state of Tamil Nadu, located at the Coromandel coast off the Bay of Bengal. It's one of the largest cultural, economic, and educational centers in India. So let's get started by visiting our final temple in India. I wish I can tell more about it on camera, but
I still don't have voice. I can't argue with her. It's so not fair.
Finally, a vacation! A real vacation.
So I'm going to cheat with a voiceover. I'm currently at Kapileshwar Temple, a Hindu temple dedicated to Shiva. A form of Shiva's consort worship at this temple called Kapileshwar. From Tamil, it means goddess of wishing-yielding trees. Built around the 7th century CE, the original temple was where the current location of Sanhong Temple. The original temple was demolished by the Portuguese, and the present temple was built in the 16th century by the Vijay Agra kings. The temple has numerous shrines, those with Kapileshwar and Kapileshwar being the most prominent, and the complex houses many halls. There are 6 daily rituals at various times from 5:30 AM to 10 PM, and are 4 annual main festivals on the calendar. The Kapalumi festival during the month of Tamil or Panguni is the most prominent festival among the 4. There's also a beach nearby. It runs on Fort St. George in the north to the Fort Shore Estate in the south, a distance of 6 kilometers. Therefore, Marina Beach is the longest natural urban beach in the country. I don't recommend you visit this beach during the day since the sands are extremely hot, and both bathing and swimming are not allowed because of the dangers as the undercurrent is very, very turbulent. However, at night, it is a different story. Don't worry. We'll be back later. So, let's go somewhere and meet some cold-blooded friends, literally. With a Chennai snake park costing only 40 cents for both foreigners and locals, I truly found this a non-discriminative bargain. This is a non-profit park constituted in 1972 by American-born naturalized Indian herpetologist Ramnath Walker and is India's first reptile park. The park covers an area of 1 acre in Grindy National Park campus, exhibit a total of 39 species, including 23 species of Indian snakes, all 3 Indian species and 4 exotic species of crocodiles, 3 species of Indian tortoise and turtles, and 6 species of larger Indian lizards. The park also is slated to become a nodal point for captive breeding an endangered python in the country. The park's research lab implemented a research for developing a snake repellent to protect army personnel from snakes commonly found in the desert region. By a good coincidence, there's a travel fair in Chennai, and we were invited by our sponsor at the Andaman Island to come and check it out.
I think we've been there, we covered it, and we even got the drone there.
The TTF Travel and Tourist Fair is one of the largest and the most important in all of India. Companies and travel industry associations come from all over India, Nepal, and all over the world to showcase their regions and many unique products. Given the state of my throat, I'm really looking out for a magical cure in a form of a drink, and more drink, and pills. I really need to talk on camera for the trip to the Andaman Islands.
That's the favorite part of coming to a food show. Free taste.
Well, with no luck, I did found my favorite treat, ice cream.
Chocolate.
As well as other local treats across India.
It's a healthy rice biscuit and it's got some spice to it and a nice crunch.
Yes, the honeycomb right here.
Oh wow.
But my favorite is the natural honeys. I was about to give up finding a cure until I was presented with a gift. Something that will release my congestion, and it's all natural. It's called Huang.
So this is where we can go next, tomorrow, and we can discover the best Andaman Island. By then, I hope my voice will recover. So stay tuned.
As promised, Sarah and I returned to the beach to check out the night scene. This is where everything is happening at most nights.
So we're back at Marina Beach. It is our last night. We fly out at 5 in the morning for the Andaman Islands. Nighttime, it comes alive. There's a lot of little carnival rides for children, tons of food stalls. Everybody's set up picnic blankets and enjoying the cool evening. But that being said, let's take a little look.
I'm not sure what's Sarah's reason to be here. Maybe to pick up a cute Indian guy, a crazy rich Asian edition? But for me, the big attraction, of course, is food. So round 1 please. I'll try out not Chinese food. I mean hot Chinese food.
Alright, here you go. Egg fried rice, chili chicken. I told you, I have really a high standard for Chinese food. What's the verdict?
Pretty good for beach Chinese.
I make the final verdict and I'm gonna eat it. Alright guys, so let's eat. It's really not bad. I think maybe a soy sauce.
It's fine without. It's spicy. I think it's better than, it's Indian version and you don't need the soy sauce because of the spice.
Alright, I just so I get this whole thing to myself. Chili chicken. I can't tell if it's in here, like cheese or chicken.
It's not cheese.
I'm gonna eat it. It's really good. Strongly recommend it. A whole meal costs less than $2. That's how good it gets.
For Sarah, she's pretty evil when it comes to the selections. By picking something, definitely put the poor lady in danger. I roasted corn. Fire corn. Literally.
I'm trying to eat only cooked vegetables in India because I really don't want to get sick.
but it's nicely roasted and char grilled, but it's pretty raw. So unfortunately, I think I'm not gonna eat it. But there's lots of people that seem to be in need around the beach right now. So I'm gonna hopefully pass it off to somebody else to have.
Like me. Nah.
We woke up early and took a taxi to Chennai International Airport. But let me get you excited by introducing where we are going. The Andaman Islands, a group of islands at the juncture of Bay of Bengal and Andaman Sea. Despite its location closer to Thailand, the chain of islands are part of India. From Chennai, the closest Indian city to the Andamans, if you don't have any luggage, the best and the free way to get there is by swimming across the Bay of Bengal. It's only 1400 kilometers, that is. Just joking, the cheapest way to get there is by a ferry, but it's 60 hours and you need special permission for travel by sea. But thank goodness there is a invention called airplanes. There's multiple flights to and from major cities like Chennai, Delhi and Calcutta to Port Blair, the capital of Andaman and Nicobar. Once grounded, you need to get a permit to enter the island, but it's quick and painless. And before you know it, you're on your way to arrival hall where you can either walk out and grab a prepaid taxi to the city only 2 kilometers away and costing about $1.50. Or if you're really cheap, experience the local way. There is always auto rickshaws called tuk-tuk, and of course, the buses.
So, welcome to Port Blair, and this is where we begin our journey.
Thanks to our home base, GKM Grand Hotel offers direct and fast reliable transfer. We can save our energy and focus on getting great shots.
So this is our first point. It's right across from Secretariat, and where you can get a view of the whole island right there. And on the 20 Indian notes, you can see right there, that is the North Bay.
But those damn trees are getting on the way, and I'm determined to get the perfect shots. So let's get higher.
So to get a beautiful view of the airport, let's come here. This is Chocolate Spot. And right there is Oasis Land. And this is a really nice view of it.
Finally, we arrived at GKM Grand Hotel, and boy, my co-host Sarah and I did not expect to be welcomed like this. As the majority of our local population is Hindu, we were welcomed by the hotel staff with a traditional ceremony called Tikak and Garland, a Hindu ritual marking someone's forehead with a fragrant paste as welcome expression of honor when they arrive.
You are welcome to GKM Grand.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Finally, Sarah has gotten her wish of having her own nice room.
The honors continue to our rooms with more flower decoration on my bed, but even more importantly, both of us was given a very comfortable rooms with clean bathrooms, of course, with hot showers, at a really great price. Yay!
To start our breakfast here in the hotel, this is guava pineapple juice.
But there's no time to take a nap. We need to fuel up, and we were treated with a traditional breakfast at the hotel's amazing restaurant.
Fruit salad. Fruit salad.
Fruit salad.
Port Blair is fairly small. If you got time, you can walk, but you can get around by tuk-tuk for about $1 or so, or for a little bit more comfort by a taxi for about $3. But once again, thanks to GKM, we got our own driver, and this is how we got transferred to prison. Seriously.
So this is one of the tourist attractions, a very famous jail, where British actually sent all their Indian life prisoners who rebelled against them before the independence are sent. And one of them is actually the freedom fighter Vio Salker, which the airport's named after, where he spent the rest of his life serving his time here.
The construction of Cellular Jail started in 1896 and was completed in 1906. The remote island was considered to be a suitable place to punish the independent activists. Not only they were isolated from the mainland, the overseas journey to the island also threatened them with loss of caste, resulting in social exclusion. The British used the facility to especially exile political prisoners during the struggle for India's independence. The convicts were also used in chain gangs to construct prisons, buildings, and harbor facilities. Many died in this enterprise. Today, the complex serves as a national memorial monument.
So this flame has been burning since the independence of India and is dedicated to all the freedom fighters.
Carved on the wall are the names of all the political prisoners who were incarcerated in this prison, and many of them never made it out alive.
So based on their religion, this is where the prisoners come and meet and get last prayer before being hanged.
Just 15 minutes walk or 4 minutes drive is a memorial dedicated to a victim of 2004 Asian tsunami, which caused extensive devastation to island's environment. This is also the location of a seaport with a statue of former Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, who was assassinated. It is also where you can board a ferry to the Ross Island. The regular ferry costs about $10 and taking about 15 minutes, but due to the time constraint, GKM Grand Hotel helped us arrange a private jet boat so we will not need to wait or swim across. Once again, thanks guys.
So we're on our way to Ross Island where the British lived. So that they were separate from the prisoners at the cellular jail. If the prisoners were to escape and try to swim away, they're just going to encounter more British. So it was a win-win for the British, not so much for the inmates.
Your private boat might be fast, but there's no guarantee of a smooth ride. So if you're scared of seasick, eat light beforehand.
So this might be a rocky ride, but it's only 5 minutes to Ross Island.
The island is situated 3 kilometers east of downtown Port Blair and named after marine surveyor Sir Daniel Ross. The island was first discovered by him for guarding the Port Blair harbor. It served as a administrative headquarters in the capital of Andaman and Nicobar until the earthquake that rocked in 1941. Today, this historic ruin are a popular tourist attraction. The best of all, at the time of this filming, the entrance ticket is only 30 rupees for 50 cents and a plastic-free zone.
At the entrance of Ross Island, there's a wall of history. And one thing to note is that during the deadly tsunami in 2004, if it wasn't for Ross Island, the main island of Port Blair would have been wiped out.
During the revolt of 1857, the British had to flee to Ross Island as they settled and lived there for about next 90 years, until 9 months before the Japanese takeover, when Ross Island experienced an earthquake, which caused many people to leave the island. Except for the brief time when Japanese occupied, the Ross Island was never permanently resettled, resulting in wildlife such as deer, rabbit, and peacock to flourish and roam freely around the island.
I was gonna pet the deer, but he's peeing, so I'm gonna leave him to do his business.
And a chance for you to get close, if you're fast.
Oh, you didn't like that?
Go ahead.
There are also free tours led by some of the locals. This lady is giving her tour right now. If you'd like to give a little donation at the end to show your appreciation, is great. So here on Ross Island, the British had everything they needed. General store, a water distillation plant so that they could have their own freshwater pool. There's bakeries and all sorts of things. Let's see what's inside. Here, there's a sound and light show that takes place in this converted bakery that they painted the walls white, and the entire show fits within its frame.
They even got a cute little beach. The little beach is too small for both of us, so let's visit one of the most famous beaches in Port Blair. But I'm not going anywhere before cooling down first.
This gentleman sells ice cream here for you. All of you want to cool off. He has been selling it for the last 10 years. This is all locally made. It's melting. It's so hot here. This is made from burnt milk, all natural.
As we walk along the unspoiled shores to our private escape, we also pass by the Marina Park. It's a cute little park filled with statues of important figures in the Indian history. And a tank for you to practice your serious driving skills, and anti-aircraft guns for you to practice some serious bird hunting, if you got time, that is. But no, our patient driver was waiting to take us to a Corbin Cove beach.
So this is Corbin Beach. It's actually one of the nearest beach to the airport. It's one of the cleanest beach in the island where you can swim. As you can see, there's nothing else on my footprint. And if that's not enough for you, there is all kind of water sporting activity all along the shore.
So just going to navigate through the rocks a little bit. We're on our way up to an abandoned Japanese bunker from the war.
And it still have some various modern day usage, especially by the young lovebirds. Without a man in Sarah's life, she definitely need to find someone and some excitement as well. Thank goodness she will not need to look far on this beach with so many handsome Indian princes and lots of water activities. Maybe she can even kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's wish her good luck.
Safety first. We're about to take the jet skis out for a ride. One of the many places here on the island that you can rent the jet skis for the day.
Look like the relations has a very exciting start. I don't know if I'm jealous, but I do know I'm pretty hungry, and it's time to head back to grab lunch.
Our lunch was just delivered to us, but it was a house special, a surprise, so I'm not sure what's in here yet. Oh, nice. It looks like a chicken biryani. We've got some chicken, and again, look at the artistry they've done with the plating.
Oh yeah, they fed us really well. The restaurant is open for lunch between 12:30 to 3 p.m. So take your time, but not with us. We need to go somewhere a little somber. The Great Tsunami hit the Andaman and Nicobar Island hard, with the death toll reached over 1,300 and over 5,500 missing. In the village of Sipahat, the tsunami created a permanent sea lake with many of the buildings submerged and inhabitable. Today, many of these residents are living inside those permanent tsunami settlements. After seeing the settlements, my co-host Sarah and I are tired and pretty much brain dead. We want to go back to our comfortable rooms, but our friendly staff has other ideas to wake us up. They really treated us like a member of their family and invited us to their home to get high. Seriously.
So some of our teammates just climbed up their coconut tree. We're on their farm right now, and they dropped down some coconuts and chopped them open for us to try. And I'm really excited to take a drink. I'm really thirsty, so let's go for it. It's really good. It's sweet, it's cool, and really refreshing.
The legendary power of coconut water gives us a walking strength of a Superman, or Superwoman to be politically correct. So we power our way to see Ramnath Gandhi National Park named after him. For those of you who want to go local, there are buses from Port Blair that go to Indore village. I heard they got some pretty nice beaches for sunset, but here's a little advice.
I got my first receipt for using the toilet here in India. It only cost me 5 rupees this time. Usually costs 10 rupees, so I suggest always having a handful of small bills so that you can use the toilet.
The beach is located inside Low-Berg Saltwater Crocodile Sanctuary, and the best time to visit is to get there around 5:30 p.m. By the way, some part of the beach has nets, and they are there for a reason. Feel free to cross it if you want to get an unforgettable experience of being crocodile's dinner. No thank you for me. This famous beach is well known for its scenic beauty and especially for its crystal blue coastlines. Not to mention enjoying its marine life, especially the little fishies, but the big catches will come later. But most of us are here for one reason.
It was definitely worth the drive out here. The sunset was beautiful and really relaxing and calm. There aren't too many people here, so it's a great place to, maybe have a picnic and watch the sunset, or maybe a little meditation. Now we're off to the sound and light show back in the city.
Not so fast. Remember, I still need to collect my big catch, and my parent taught me wherever there's fishermen, there's fresh fishes. Lots and lots of them. They are totally right, and just a few minutes away there's a local fish market where big catches are loaded.
So right after sunset, the action's not over. Here's a fish market where all of the fishermen come home with a fresh catch.
This is where majority of Port Blair fishes come from. Fishermen return at the end of the day, where fishes are sorted, auctioned, and sold to the local market vendors. After the big catch, we are exhausted and in desperate need of sugar. But once again, thanks to our knowledgeable staff, they know how to sweeten us up. We pay a visit to one of the oldest and the most well-known bakery in the island, Yuma Bakery. This is where you can encounter lots and lots of sweets, and even more sweets.
This is one of my favorite sweets here in India. Kaju Kathi is made of almond. It just melts in your mouth. It's really delicious.
I'm excited.
I'm definitely going to take the big piece of this gulab with some custard inside. There's also a bit of a nut inside the custard. So got a little crunch. Delicious. I love this one.
Sarah is clueless what she's consuming until our host, Prashant, give us a little introduction.
So this is rasagula. It is boiled in hot sugary water. Let's take a bite. As soon as you bite down on it, sweet honey liquid squirting all over in your mouth.
With so much sugar, it's hard to keep cool when the traffic is not moving. So I decided to get off and join the bride and the groom who are the culprit responsible for this traffic chaos. Street wedding parties are crazy and normal. It's perfect place to show my cool moves and burn some excess sugar. Before our patient driver escort us back to a cellular jail to serve our remaining sentence and history lesson in form of a sound and light show. If you want to check it out, make sure to get your tickets in advance. It's 100 rupees for foreigners, or about $1.50, and be first in line to get the best seats. The sound and light show give a history of the jail and the saga of heroic freedom struggles by many of its political prisoners or the freedom fighter within these walls.
Now go quickly and do the job!
It recounts the hardship and the suffering at the hands of the occupying power, including forced labor, deprivation of food and water, torture, suicides, and other inhumane treatment of inmates. The show also highlights many stories of compassion, victories in the struggle, and concludes in an uplifting positive note. We returned to a GKM Grand Hotel really late, but I'm not going to bed without a nice dinner. In fact, I demanded hot and fresh, but thanks to its in-house restaurant, it will not be a problem as they open late until 10 p.m.
And as you can see, the
Now, before I dive into my lovely bellflowers, let me do 1 minute infomercial to thank our sponsor GKM Grand Hotel. Seriously, they have been awesome.
International channels with all the essentials. I appreciate 24-hour hot water.
Okay, that's enough. Let's get some sleep. We got a long day tomorrow. In the Ottomans, ferries are the only way to get between islands, unless you're a good swimmer.
So it's bright and early this morning and we're about to take a ferry to Havelock Island. Something to keep in mind is make sure you have your passport as well as the paper they give you at the airport to enter the island. And make sure you have your patience and a little bit of elbow power because there's no such thing as a line here.
The fare for government-run public ferry is about 550 rupees and the seats are first come first served. The private and more comfortable boat starts at 900 depending on the class. All have assigned seats so tickets can be booked in advance. But thanks to GKM Grand Hotel, they made it easy for all their guests by taking care of the ferry bookings. Once a boat leaves the dock, you are free to roam around and soak in some fresh breeze along with a beautiful photo to make your Instagram friends jealous. After all, I do not recommend you sit on your butt for an entire 2.5-hour journey. In fact, I recommend you put it to work by dancing it out. Honestly, it feels like paradise right from the ferry dock with the beautiful clear waters and the clean beaches.
Havelock Island ferry departs and arrives just over here, and as soon as you arrive you just walk about 200 meters to the tourist information where you can get your tickets for scuba diving, snorkeling and a whole variety of other water activities. The rates are fixed. It's about 3,500 to 4,000 rupees for your dive. You have many options here for transportation. You can take a taxi for the day, or if you're on a budget, take the local bus. It's around 20 rupees one way and it stops at many different places.
Oh, she forgot there's a brilliant way as well. Scooters, a lot cheaper than on private drivers. It costs about 500 rupees or so.
Nope, it's expensive on the island. It's about 800. So you spend maybe 300 in Goa, it's about 800 here.
Do your own research before you listen to us.
But once again, thanks to GKM Grand Hotel, they took care of transportation. Typically, the whole day taxi costs about $1,500 or $23.
Okay, we're gonna go get kitted up and get ready to go for our dive.
Why don't I get to go too?
Because you're sick.
Aww.
I'm excited I have a proper suit and little booties because there's all sorts of fire coral and things like that. Then I'm always afraid I'm gonna get stung or bit or something. So my biggest advice is don't touch anything when you're diving because if you go to grab onto something, you may regret it later.
Before that
Okay. How do you equalize? You squeeze your nose and blow out, so you pop your ears.
So as you can hear and see that my throat hasn't fully recovered, I was not able to dive in this paradise. Look at this. Well, I am just jealous Sarah's able to do it. So I hope she has fun. Unfortunately, my 4K underwater camera in Chennai. However, she does have a 1080p GoPro with an underwater casing. So let's see how the footage come out from that. Something is better than nothing, obviously.
Even though I'm not able to join Sarah and try out scuba diving, don't worry, I still get to enjoy the beautiful crystal clear shores of beach number 2 or Granada Beach.
So we're
trying to visit as many beaches as possible. We're at beach number 2 right now. We went out with the guys from Ocean Pearl Scuba Club, and it was really great. Equipment was great, and service, everything was spot on. Very safety oriented here. Now we're gonna head off to Kalapata Beach, another beach to check out.
Go ahead, don't worry. Oh. Nice. Okay, great.
We're here at Kalapata Beach, just a short little drive from the Havelock Ferry.
The name is actually means black stars. It's like black rock. But this not black rock. Look at this.
Oh my god, we gotta settle this guy down.
Ow! That's not good. You can get fired.
I wasn't about to include that embarrassing footage in the show, but it was too funny. But I think it's better I get wet on my own. This small stretch of coastline remains refreshingly untouristed and more quieter than the island's main beach. The clean sands offer good amount of room for relaxation and beach sporting. But just remember, because of the sharp corals and rocks, the water remains unsuitable for swimming. Don't forget to support the local economy by being hydrated, killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Hang is really big. It means you get a full day of vitamin C's and water at the same time. So good.
But nothing goes to waste. There's meaty interior you can eat.
Environmentally friendly. It comes with its own spoon. You just have to make it first. Very refreshing and delicious.
Now, if you want to support the local economy, considering buy one of these locally made souvenirs, your money goes directly to the pocket of the locals and to support their families. With that being said, I'm going to try out this musical instrument. It's not working.
Next, our search for paradise ends at the best ranked beach in Asia and 7th in the world by Time Magazine in 2004 at the Ragabella Beach, or beach number 7.
We're here at Radhanagar Beach. It is known in India as the most beautiful beach, and some even say it's the most beautiful in all of Asia.
The beach lies on the southwest coast of Havelock Island and is about 12 kilometers from the island ferry piers, easily accessible by public bus. Trust me, it's really worth a visit. So, have your bathing suits ready.
Across Asia, this is one of the top beaches, but here in India is number 1. And there's many tourists that come here that fall in love with this beach and change their plan and stay for weeks at a time, just like me. But I don't have that luxury time. But I would definitely be back.
However, all good times come to an end, and it's time to head back to catch our ferry. But along the way, I encourage you to stop and soak up some vitamin C's with some fresh fruit. If you need to really fuel up, don't worry, there's a canteen near the ferry port for you to try some Indian version of fast food.
Okay, so everybody's lining up right now. There's 2 boats about to come in. If you've chosen to go on the government boat, there's no fixed seats, so you definitely want to line up so you can choose an area to hang out at. But if you have a private charter, you have a fixed seat, and you don't need to stay in line. Just chill for a while, wait for the line to go, and then scoot in at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the government boat.
Alright guys, I'm not comfortable on going to a boat like that. I think it's very dangerous. People, get off the boat. It's so dangerous. That's a horrible boat. It's a horrible boat. Get off.
Oh my God.
And save your life.
Don't say that.
Don't forget to get outside and see the beautiful sunset from the side deck.
So we just arrived back in Port Blair and we're off to the bazaar. No time to rest, but time to go shopping.
Maybe a brief rest, as there's many tuk-tuk outside the piers to take you to the Aberdeen Bazaar. Once again, thanks to GKM Grand Hotel, our comfortable ride is waiting for us.
Alright, so we arrived here at Mahatma Gandhi Square, and this is very central. Up here is where all the central bus stand, where all the bus terminates. But what we are going to is down there right now, which is the Aberdeen Bazaar. The bazaar is very old. It predates the British arrival here in Port Blair.
This is where you also can pay a respect to the most important historical figure and an Indian hero at this square named after him. It's also where you can go back in time and save some money.
If you want to ride something interesting, take a vintage taxi. This is actually used mostly by tourists, but they are also cheaper than ordinary taxis. So we are approaching the Aberdeen Bazaar right here. This is not only one of the oldest bazaar in Port Blair, it's also one of the oldest throughout the whole island. On top of it, this is the center of the economic engine for Port Blair.
You can find absolutely everything from cookware, electronic clothing to food, and flowers, and more flowers.
When walking by these flower stands, feel free to accept a flower if one's given to you or smell from afar, but ideally you don't put your nose right into them because they're sacred and they're offerings to the gods. One thing you must do is look at some of the jewelry when you're in India because it is unlike what you're going to find throughout the world. I'm looking at this one, but I'm going to see if I can get a better price. How about? Thank you so much. Okay. I don't feel like I've bought enough clothing yet, so I'm going to check out this little shop and see if I can get a long shirt.
Just remember one rule, regardless what you are buying, never accept the first offer and always bargain, and bargain hard. So good luck on finding your perfect deal. Also, my condolences to all the men who are not fan of shopping. Let's leave it at that.
$4.50?
Yeah, she can be perfection at times, at least trying to.
To make my choice, do I go green or do I go fuchsia? Please help me decide. Can we do 600 flat?
450 or 290?
$740.
Yeah. So, but I'm getting two now. 625 in the middle. 625. 625?
Okay then.
And here in the Andaman Islands, they're plastic bag free. So everything comes in a cloth reusable bag, which is brilliant. And that's one of the reasons the island is so clean.
With her new dress, we are both happy and ended our night back at the GKM Grand Hotel. We wake up next morning really early, around 3 a.m. and prepare ourselves to go somewhere. really hard to get to.
So it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It took us about an hour to drive here from Port Blair. We're waiting to go through a forest where there's a local tribe, and we can only access in group convoys. So the convoy stretches sometimes 3 to 4 kilometers in length.
Alternatively, you can take a public bus from the STS bus terminal near the Aberdeen Bazaar, but make sure you check its most up-to-date return schedule. Getting to our destination required our vehicle pass through a Jawa tribal reserve in a convoy, the home to a group of endangered indigenous people Andaman. Therefore, there's a long list of rules one must follow in order to protect the remaining 250 to 400 individuals. As the population has little contact with the outsiders, they have little immunity against outside disease. Therefore, we encourage you not to interact or have contact with them.
So we just received our permit so we can enter the Jawa reserved area, and most importantly, it comes with a list of do's and don'ts. Number 3 on the do's and don'ts, do not indulge in any photography whatsoever or taking any videos. The Indian government is really cracking down on making sure the tribe stays as they are without interference of foreigners or other peoples.
After a long drive, we finally made it. At least we thought we did.
So we just boarded a ferry and we're on our way to the Beratong Island. There are mangrove forests behind us, and it's only about a 15-minute journey, but the cars and the people are all crammed in. As the public buses were loading in, like we all just had to shuffle past so they could get on, and that was an experience. But I'm excited to get on the island.
I guess the love boat definitely exists, and on the bus.
We've just arrived on Beratong Island. Look at how the buses are exiting and the people are walking. It's really dangerous, so you really need to watch your step or you're going to get run over.
Once again, we thought we reached our final destination. I guess not.
Okay, just because you get off the really fast ferry, that doesn't mean you can be on your way. What I recommend is you get a local guide. It costs about like 700 to 1,000 rupees, but they will save you a lot of headache. First of all, you have to go there to book a boat, and then, so that's a lineup, and then you have to go right across to that hut, and then from there you have to get a token, then you can board a boat towards our destination.
Remember what I said about bringing your passport and permit? You definitely need them here. The cost of the speedboat is 5,000 rupees or $75, but the tour operator usually gathers together all the individuals to form a group of 10 passengers. Awesome. Finally, we thought we reached our destination. Not quite, there's a bit of walking. Including that tour is a lesson on name of countless type of trees dominate this island.
So there's about a 1.2 kilometer walk that we have to go from the mangrove forest to the limestone cave, but it's a nice sandy path and lots of spots for shade.
And please, don't be a victim to heart stroke by always being hydrated. There's many stalls selling cold water and drinks, unless you want complimentary passionate CPR. Finally, a triumph have paid off as we reach our final destination, the limestone cave. By the way, before you enter the tunnel of darkness, bring a flashlight.
Watch out for your head, and at some time, watch your steps too. There's lots of rocks, uneven surface here, and please do yourself a favor, wear a proper hiking boot. So there's a sinkhole up there, and what happens is over the years the rain will come down and make these stones black, and also the patterns as you can see in the wall.
Part of the cave is closed off because of the damage done from the earthquake which caused the tsunami. Waters flooded in and about half the cave collapsed. The Indian god Ganesh is seen by many in that piece of limestone. The Indian god Ganesh.
We exit on the other side of the cave and ready for another round of walking exercise.
And as we walk back, we are actually going to another route through the village, which is really nice. You get to see how the house is built, made from essentially tree barks. Here you go. Check that out. So I'm just one of the first persons to arrive back at the dock. This is such a nice spot, and the great thing about it is it's all shaded, but still, put some sunscreen. So when you come back, make sure you go back to the same seat, because going forward, you are coming one direction, and now on the same seat, you're going to the opposite direction. So you get to see the viewpoint from the side. Alright, so this is a government boat ferry. We are taking it back right now to the port so we can head back towards Port Blair. And up here, as you can see, is where you get the seats, but you have to be quick. There's also a third deck right here, which means you can actually say hi to the captain. Hi, Charles.
By the way, you really need to make sure you get back to the checkpoint on time, unless you really want to have a wild sleepover. I'm serious. Then once again, I clap into a deep sleep in our private car provided by GKM Grand Hotel. When I woke up, I realized our long day is longer than we thought. And no, it's not over yet. Yep, our driver is a little aggressive, as they understand how important to us to capture the beautiful sunset at our last destination, the Muna Pahar Beach.
So this is the most southern tip of South Andaman, accessible by road from Port Blair. Now, this is a must-see beach because it is famous for its magnificent sunset, and also well known for being used as seen in South Indian movies. Within this beach, there's also lots of greens, and this is the mangrove walk, and you can come here, chill out, look at the crystal clear calm waters, and enjoy the fish within.
The beach closed at 5 p.m, but we ain't going anywhere until I witness my sunset. Located just a few minutes away, there's no more famous viewpoint than Chila Tapu.
Very big bit of land.
We finally ended our night back at GKM Grand Hotel and thought we'd have a simple dinner and go to bed. But our host has other ideas, like with a cake cutting ceremony to celebrate our successful conclusion to the filming in the Andaman Islands. And no, you don't need to be famous or as cute as Sarah to receive this special treatment. Instead, they really trying hard to make all their guests feel valued as part of their family by offering cake cutting ceremonies for birthdays, anniversaries, and other special occasions, free of charge. Hopefully, next time will be my turn. Seriously, I'm hungry, and once again, there's no simple dinner here. Perfection is a standard built into every tasty dish in our 6-course dinner. Since the Andaman is surrounded by sea, it's a crime for you to leave without trying out some fresh seafood.
One thing I would miss the most is the in-house restaurant. It has this amazing food. Me and Sarah have indulged ourselves and in all the local food that the staff prepare for us. Also, we get to taste some of the Western food that we miss. That makes us less homesick. So that's one thing I really miss, and I like to thank the staff here at the GKM brand with our sincere appreciation for their service and attention to detail. Alright, so we can show you our rooms.
We ended the final night at our air-conditioned rooms, took a hot shower in a clean bathroom, and I watched a little bit of television before settling into my very clean and ultra-comfortable bed. After breakfast, it's time to head to the airport, and if you don't have too much luggage, then use the most inexpensive option by rickshaw, or you can arrange a taxi to your hotel. Once again, thanks to GKM Grand Hotel that took care of all our rides. From Port Blair, you can connect to major cities in India. In our case, we'll be flying to Delhi to catch an international flight out. And this marks the beginning of the end for our magnificent journey here in India. India is one of the greatest and the oldest civilization in existence. From mathematics, science, engineering, and technology, this proud civilization made countless valuable contributions to all of humanity, and no one is unaffected. It's amazing people are able to overcome its history of colonialism, conflict, and yet able to move forward in the 21st century as the world's largest democracy, yet and maintain its sacred history for all of us to connect with, to relive it, to feel it, and to touch it. India is home to a population of 1.4 billion with countless ethnic groups and cultures, allowing all of us to experience its contrast, diversity, and the warm hospitality. The ability for all the groups to live in peace and harmony sets an example for the world where conflict and chaos exists. Its citizens are prime example of being a custodian of its nature and the protector of its biodiversity for the future generations to come, and to deserve being a model in an era of climate change. The incredible India is truly a magnificent destination waiting for you to discover and to experience, and to forever remain in your heart and soul.